This impeachment going on with Biden, I'm going to talk about this in detail on the program. We're going to be live taking your calls in 1 minute on the radio. But what I'm going to talk a lot about, which is something no one realizes, this is the first impeachment that we've ever had in this country, going back to Andrew Johnson, where the president being impeached could lose and be found guilty in the trial in the Senate and be removed from office. Joe Biden, the media, the Uniparty, they're not reporting that, but it is very, very possible. So I'm going to talk about that quite a bit. Take your calls as well. If you're new to my channel, this is where MAGA comes to talk. My name is Brian. Make sure that you subscribe and like the video. And also, today is the 11th anniversary of my podcast that I do with my wife, the Brian Craig Show podcast, which is on all podcast platforms. The 11th anniversary is today. Here we go. Crazy.
Blessings to all who listen in the name of our Lord and Savior. Moments of Scripture every Sunday at 6 a.m.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian.
All righty, welcome one and all. It is Wednesday morning, September 13th, 2023. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 46 years on the radio this year. And man, do we have a lot to cover. This impeachment of Joe Biden is so huge, and I'm going to break this down and take your calls on this throughout the program. We've got a lot to cover. And also today, I'll mention this a few times, today is the 11th anniversary of the Brian Craig Show podcast, my podcast that I co-host with my wife. So if you don't already listen to my podcast, you should. We've got 11 years of shows archived. The Brian Craig Show podcast is on all podcast platforms. Just search for the Brian Craig Show podcast on all podcast platforms and on my YouTube channel. All right, look for it there too. All right, so these impeachments, the conventional wisdom, watching the mainstream media coverage and listen to all these yakety-yak pundits, they're really bored by impeachment. They're bored by impeachment, okay? They impeached Trump a couple times, we've had Clinton. We've had these impeachments before. And for the most part, impeachments are more symbolic than anything else. While it is true that the Judas of Mar-a-Lago, that's right, Kevin McCarthy, I do not trust Kevin McCarthy. And you know what? Matt Gaetz doesn't either. I may play some of Matt Gaetz's floor speech about Kevin McCarthy from yesterday on the program. But Kevin McCarthy, no doubt, has started this impeachment inquiry due to pressure put upon him, all right? I mean, there's no getting around that. And I think that's pretty much accepted. But with that being said, there have been impeachments going, we had Bill Clinton, we've had Trump, and of course the first one was Andrew Johnson, who was Lincoln's vice president, who after the Democrat John Wilkes Booth assassinated, became president. But here's the thing. These impeachments typically are symbolic. And what I mean by that is they pass them in the House, because the House is under tremendous pressure all the time because the entire House of Representatives is up for re-election every 2 years. So the entire House is you know what they're like? They're like a salesman at a high-pressure sales used car lot. They're under a lot of pressure. Senators, since they're only up every 6 years and it's only a third of the Senate every 2, senators sit back, relax, and are on siesta until it's election time for the most part. That's why they behave the way that you saw Fetterman yesterday, okay? So the Senate, they don't feel those pressures. However, this impeachment of Joe Biden is the first impeachment that has a real strong possibility of leading to the removal of the president by losing the trial in the Senate. This has never happened before, because things get very partisan in the Senate, and you have to have a 2/3 majority, which is a very difficult thing. So in the Senate, it always gets partisan, and the presidents are never removed from office. They're never found guilty in the Senate trial. This one is different. The Biden impeachment is much different than any impeachment we've ever seen, because this impeachment of Biden isn't happening because of the Republicans. There was a little extra pressure put on Kevin McCarthy, but this impeachment is not due to Republicans. This impeachment is because the deep state want him out. This is a CIA, FBI, Justice Department approved impeachment proceeding. Okay? Now, in a little bit, I'll start going through some of the evidence that they're talking about. Matt Gaetz had an amazing floor speech talking about Kevin McCarthy yesterday. The House of Representatives has not really done any investigations. I know Comer's got his committee and they've talked about a few things, but they really haven't had a lot of witnesses, and they've done really no investigation. All the evidence against Joe Biden was handed to Comer's committee by the Justice Department, right? That bank account information, there's a whistleblower and all this. The whistleblower was an FBI informant. You understand? The Justice Department, deep state of the FBI, have been giving all of this evidence to Comer and the Republicans to impeach Joe Biden. It's the FBI, the CIA, the deep state who want Biden out. Okay? And that's why last week I was talking, they spent an entire day on CNN talking about nothing other than Biden should drop out. People like Dana Bash, who's CIA. The Young Turks want him out. So the liberals have been talking really for the last 10 days or so that Biden should drop out of the race, and he's still running. So this impeachment is Democrat, CIA, FBI, deep state establishment approved. This is not an impeachment to satisfy the Republican base. This is very, very different than any other impeachment we faced before. So I'm here to tell you that this impeachment has a high likelihood of resulting in Biden's removal from office. And if you go back to Richard Nixon, who was not impeached but resigned in disgrace, I want you to think about this. Why did Richard Nixon resign? I'm not going to troll for calls on this. I'm just going to give you the answer. It's a real rhetorical question. Why did Richard Nixon resign? Richard Nixon did not resign because Woodward and Bernstein's reporting, okay? Those liberal jerks at the liberal Washington Post who didn't do any investigating. Everything was handed to them by the deep state, by the FBI. Okay? Why did Nixon resign? Nixon did not resign because of Woodward and Bernstein. He did not resign because of the Watergate reporting. Nixon did not resign because the media were against him or the Democrats. Nixon resigned because the Republicans were against him. Okay? The Republicans were against him. And the Republicans went to Richard Nixon and said, that's it. You don't have it. You don't have our support. You're done. We're going to impeach you and remove you. Now, they didn't get to that. He should have called their bluff, but he didn't, Richard Nixon, and he resigned because the Republicans put pressure on him to resign. Okay? Democrats had nothing to do with the resignation of Richard Nixon. It was a deep state operation that that was done by the Republicans. And I'll explain to you quickly how that happened. They wanted Nixon out. They wanted Nixon out, the deep state, the FBI, and they wanted people in there they could control. So what happened? What happened? The Justice Department got rid of the vice president, Spiro Agnew. Okay? Then they plugged in an establishment Republican, Gerald Ford, who had been in the House of Representatives since the end of the Second World War pretty much, made him vice president, and then boom, they put the FBI put the pressure on Nixon and got him out, and then they controlled the White House again. It was a deep state operation. That's why Nixon was out. That's what's going on here now. We have an FBI deep state operation against Joe Biden. And that is why this has a high likelihood of him being removed from office in the Senate trial. He will never resign. He'll never resign for two reasons. One, he's been doing crime since Nixon was in the White House in D.C., and there's not only been zero accountability, he continues to benefit and get richer and richer for him. And he's gotten away with all of his crimes. He's never faced consequences. He has been doing crime so long, Joe Biden does not even realize what he is doing is criminal. All right? He believes what he is doing is just how Washington works. That's one reason. The other reason he won't resign is because his mob wife, Jill Biden, who parades around and trying to make people think she's a medical doctor when she's a doctor of education, who got her degree from a college at the University of Delaware that's named after her scummy husband, Joe Biden. Okay? Give me a break. You really think she earned that degree? So she's just as bad as Biden, and she won't let him resign. So because they cannot convince him to resign like they did Richard Nixon, and it's a deep state operation, an FBI operation, and the FBI brought down Richard Nixon, that's why there's a higher likelihood of him being removed from office in the trial in the Senate, Joe Biden. I wouldn't say it's 100%, but I'm going to give it 60-40 in favor of removal, okay, because of the people that are behind him. Now, if you're on hold, stand by. We're going to take our first break of this Wednesday morning edition of Florida's longest-running radio show. My name is Brian Craig. Back after this.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now.
All right. Welcome, everyone. What do you guys think about my argument there? Do you agree or disagree with me? This is a deep state FBI-approved impeachment in a way it's never happened before. Yeah, they want him out. And I'll get into why as we go on. It is a clown show. Absolutely. I didn't do a live stream on the way in this morning because I had left my phone charger off my phone last night. I had to charge up my phone as opposed to live streaming. But I may live stream after the show on the way home. Maybe. Well, what's sad is we've got the scummiest person ever to be president. I mean, having Joe Biden as president is like having some sleazy porn producer as the president. I mean, he's just a sleaze. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, Garrison Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at TrueOldiesFLA.com.
All right, welcome back. Callers on hold, stand by. Our number 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631. There's more to my theory there on Biden, but I haven't quite gotten to all of it yet, but I will as the conversation continues. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. Jeff from Maine.
Hey, Jeff, what's up?
Hey, I believe that the deep state is trying to end Joe Biden, but the problem is they don't want Kamala Harris in there either. How are they going to get rid of her?
No, they're not. They're not. They got a plan, okay? I'll tell you. Now, I'll finish with my theory. They're not going to bypass her. She's Willie Brown's girlfriend. If he's removed, will be the president, okay? But here's the thing, okay? So why are they doing this? Why does remember, all this evidence that has come out has all been handed by the FBI to Comer and his committee. Why do they want Joe Biden out? My theory is Afghanistan, okay? If you remember, when we were pulling out of Afghanistan, but he pulled out at the last moment and it was botched. And there were many problems. And the deep state, this was talked about at the time, the deep state, the CIA and all of them had an intelligence network that was 20 years in the making in Afghanistan. And it was completely burned, including leaving behind so many of our sources at the embassy that were left behind, and those people are dead. And I think burning the intelligence operation that the deep state had set up, all the different intelligence agencies in Afghanistan, is why they're doing this. So what their plan is I think they've accepted that Joe and Kamala can't win and Trump's unbeatable. What will happen is after Kamala becomes president, she'll choose someone that they'll tell her to choose to nominate to be her vice president. And that's who they're going to run. That's who they're going to run next year. Question is who? I think top of the list is Governor Cuomo from New York. I don't know. But whoever Kamala makes her vice president, if this goes through, that's who they're going to nominate, not Kamala.
That's what I was getting to. They're not going to run her in 24.
No, but she would still have been president. She'll still have that status of the first lady president.
And what Joe Biden did in Afghanistan, alienated veterans and active duty people, and there's a whole chunk of people
he doesn't care.
Wouldn't vote for him because of that debacle.
Yeah, but which one? He doesn't care. He is so arrogant.
But the deep state does, because he knows those people will never vote for him.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So that's their plan. And you know, Bill Clinton's impeachment had the FBI behind it, but then he started cooperating, so he wasn't removed. You know, the Ken Starr investigation, there's a very good miniseries called Impeachment with Clive Owen playing Bill Clinton that came out a couple years ago. You guys should watch this, and it really shows you how the FBI, which by the way was George H.W. Bush, are the ones that brought down Bill Clinton and got him impeached. The FBI did a perjury trap with Monica Lewinsky about having an affair with Bill Clinton, and they used that perjury trap to bring down Bill Clinton, and now he works with them. Bill and Hillary became cooperators and part of the deep state after that. But Joe Biden, he hasn't been cooperating, so they want him out.
You know, and they know they can't beat Trump in 2024, and I like what Tucker said. He thinks that they're going to try to bring us to war against Russia and or China.
Yeah.
Because if they can do something like that, Brian, I think they'll try to stop the 2024 election.
No, there's no elections are going to be stopped. Who keeps saying that?
I'm just saying I wouldn't put it.
Never going to happen. Never going to happen. They will never stop an election. It's never happened before. We had elections during World War II and World War I. We had elections during the Civil War. You know, in the Civil War, which was Democrat versus Republican, we had a presidential election, and the Democrats nominated an opponent. Even though they were waging an insurrection against the federal government, the Democrats nominated a candidate and put up against Lincoln. It's never going to happen. So whoever's talking about that is just doing troll clickbait.
What you said about the Civil War is spot on, because history tends to repeat itself. I see hundreds and hundreds, thousands of Democrats voting for Trump because they see what's going on. They are not that foolish, and they are upset with what they're doing. You know, they can't do, if they can take the constitutional rights away from Trump, they can do it to us.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Yeah, but don't worry. But that's now. I'm not saying that he's definitely going to be Biden, but I'm telling you, it is 60-40. Yes, this is the first non-symbolic, real impeachment that we are going to go through right now, because
25-25, Brian. There's no way they're going to stay in.
I hope you're right. I'd like to see him removed from office, and yeah, I'd love to see it. All right, Jeff, appreciate the call. Thanks so much. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Well, this is Harvey from Daytona Beach.
Yeah, Harvey.
How you doing this morning? I just turned in about 5-10 minutes ago. You sound terrific. You're all popped up on Joe Biden today.
Yeah.
You have a lot of facts and figures.
Yeah. Well, what do you got?
Joe Biden is not a favorite of mine, and neither is Trump. They're two terrible, terrible people.
I mean, how can you compare Trump to Biden? Biden's a sleaze.
Well, don't you remember Trump going to Saudi Arabia with the sword dance and kissing his ass?
Excuse me, you're on the radio. Can you watch your language? Can you watch your language? By the way, when President Trump went to Saudi Arabia, they kissed his. Okay, and what they did with President Trump in Saudi Arabia, with the king driving around in the golf cart and all of that, that was to honor President Trump. They were kissing up to him, not him to Saudi Arabia. All right, I'm going to let the delay build back up. So if you're on hold, stand by. I want to tell you guys about Friendly Tire in Margate. All the cars of my family are on the road on tires from Friendly Tire in Margate. I've been a customer there for about 15 years. They've been with us for many years on the program. He has thousands of good used tires in stock at great prices, but he also has new tires at the lowest prices you'll find anywhere. In fact, Friendly Tire in Margate, he has new tires for as low as $70. And that's not, by the way, some off-the-wall size. That's a common size tire for the most common vehicles out there. Okay, I'm not going to start listing vehicles. You call Mike and he'll tell you. But the most common vehicles on the road, you can get new tires at Friendly Tire in Margate for $70 a tire. And by the way, that's out the door and on the road, because Friendly Mike doesn't add anything onto that charge. He doesn't charge you to balance the tire, mount the tire, or even dispose of your old tires, okay? So give him a call. Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire will give you a quote right over the phone, okay? His number, 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. He will be closed this Saturday, guys, for, is it Rosh Hashanah this weekend? He'll be closed for the Jewish holiday on Saturday. So you got to go in before then or wait till Monday. We'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again. I think you're going to really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Oh, yeah. Unreal.
Side note away from politics for a sec. Have you been watching the show?
Yeah, I watched it this morning before I came in.
Oh.
Did you watch the new one?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Oh my gosh.
It was pretty cool.
That's everything that they always wanted, like that everyone's been asking for, you
Oh
know.
yeah, it was pretty cool.
I think they made Christian look really
Yeah, it was
like
pretty cool.
he's getting so much older now, but they made him look so young. Like
Oh
he was
yeah.
oh my gosh. And then Rex even just appearing in that.
Yeah, my daughter at Disneyland, they've got Ahsoka Tano at Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland. They've got Rex, and they've got what I forgot the name. What's the name of the green girl? The General Hona starts with an H. Hera. They got her there too.
It's so cool. All right.
Yeah.
That oh man, like they're like Dave Filoni. He knows what he's doing.
Oh yeah.
He always knows. He always knows how to just get it right.
I was wondering, I'll see today because it'll be on YouTube, when they did that flashback and she was a little girl, I bet you that's from an episode of the Clone Wars. I don't know which one it is, but I'm sure.
I was about to say, I was trying to pin.
Yeah, it's got to be.
I'm like 99% sure. Because it's like they're taking it
Talking about the
from
Ahsoka Tano show, the new Star Wars show.
OTB location featuring betting action from top horse tracks around the country. See, bet, and
Okay.
bet on great races in our incredible paddock restaurant with over 140 new HD TVs, big screens, exceptional hits.
By the way, guys, have any of you had the My Pillow coffee yet? The My Pillow coffee is freaking tacular. It's in here. Now, the My Pillow coffee, you go to mypillow.com with our promo code Kane, you can get up to 50% off. 50% off the My Pillow coffee, the My Pillow My Coffee, Mike Lindell's coffee. Go to mypillow.com, and there's a link there for it. You know, it comes in medium roast, light roast, dark roast, decaf, whole bean, ground, and the K cups. You can get it in all of those. 50% off with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. Yeah, use my promo code Kane. When you click the link on mypillow.com, it'll take you to the My Store. You can use my promo code in the My Store too. That's where but go to mypillow.com, click the link, and you can even get a free My Pillow travel pillow with it. But 50% off the My Pillow My Coffee with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane at mypillow.com. And yeah, Rome, you have the coffee. It's delicious. And of course, when you use my promo code Kane, you're supporting all of my content here. So I do appreciate that. I put a poll up in the YouTube community there. So if you go there, it's in a post. Should we take liberal callers, yes or no? So I'll go through the results maybe tomorrow on the show. But so make sure you participate. And those of you that are members, don't forget there's a lot of exclusive member content. I put a new video up, a vlog just for members yesterday of taking my cat Luna to the vet. And so you can check that out if you're a member. And there's other videos up there too for members. But that's one I put up yesterday. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you saw that, Rome? Oh yes. She does not like going to. Who likes going to the doctor? Right, to get shot. Every time she goes, she gets a shot. They took 3 vials of blood from Luna. Yeah, she is pretty.
And my husband and I received our My Pillow 2.0 that we ordered with Kane the other day, the buy one get one free, and they're our first My Pillows, and we love them. We absolutely love them. They're just absolutely marvelous. Yeah, I'm so glad. I got slippers on the way too.
Go to mypillow.com and use our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, and buy your My Pillow 2.0. Right now, buy one get one free. And also order on the phone toll free 800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane.
Good morning.
Yeah, this shirt, I got this shirt from Mark Dice. I don't have the Don Jr. Mugshot photo yet. This is from Mark Dice's store.
I'm so glad you're here. My last move was causing a lot of grief. Now I can relax.
We move people forward. Find us at twomenpalmbeach.com and twomentreasurecoast.com. Two men and a truck.
Here we are.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 46 years on the air.
All right. Welcome back, one and all. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 46 years on the radio this year, the Steve Kane Show. Is that crazy? And I've been with the show most of that time, which is even scarier. All right, 1-888-GO-KANE-1's the number. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning, Brian. This is Rich.
Hey, Richie.
I'm glad. I think you're 150% right. This morning on this, I'm going to say a few things, and I think it's going to make some sense here. Hillary Clinton was selected by the deep. Bernie Sanders was running against her. And Bernie Sanders, let me get through this. Bernie Sanders' wife got in trouble or something, and all of a sudden, you remember that? All of a sudden, she was going to be a...
Well, there's a couple things. Just to go back. First, before she did her crimes, Obama took him to the Oval Office and gave him millions of dollars, okay? They bought him. And then his wife was running the college, and there was over $1 million missing, you know, or something like this, and it was under FBI investigation, all dropped, yes. Yeah.
Exactly. So they selected Hillary. They were shocked to see President Trump beat her. That was a deep state selection, and the people of this country thought they were voting. They weren't voting for who the deep state selected.
Yes.
Joe Biden was put up there. The deep state.
Yes. Because they thought. So what happened was, yes, they thought they could control Biden because he's so greedy, corrupt, and checked out. And what they found out is that he's not controllable. Either is his mob wife.
Yeah, he's not controllable because his dementia is getting worse. But they knew he had it from the very beginning. That's why he never campaigned.
Mm-hmm.
But they selected him, and the people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, yeah. So here we go. Here we go again. It's not so much who they're putting in there. It's their policies. It's their wars. It's the inflation that it's the new Green Deal. It's all it is. This impeachment to me is a major distraction of the policies in this country. Not the who's running the country, but it has to be changed because he hasn't run the country since he's there. The problem is their policies, and how do we stop their policies? This is like they're putting something in one hand while they're doing something.
Well, see what I think happened. What I think happened in Afghanistan is two things happened. One, he sold Afghanistan to China, right? They wanted that base on the Chinese border of ours. They wanted the lithium deposits. And he went against the deep state and ordered this quick pullout, probably because he had an Alzheimer's moment. And he wanted to show everybody he was with it and started barking out orders. And when those people they were hanging off of helicopters that we left behind, Black Hawk helicopters, the Taliban, were CIA operatives and people like that. And that's why he's out.
He's out, but the policies are still there. And they're going to stay there no matter who they plug in.
To remove a president, skip a vice president, and run somebody that they plug in, that's a third person, which it could be the next vice president. So it's a losing proposition. So they've got some plans that have not fully been revealed to us yet. But I think my analysis of what's going on, while it's rough because we don't have a lot of information, I think it's accurate.
I do too. I think it's very accurate. But what do we do about it?
Yeah.
What would change? We still have to buy electric cars.
Yeah.
I can go through. The borders will still be open. I mean, I really believe that whoever is running the show here is anti-American. And they're against us, definitely, the people, and that's why we've been labeled.
Yeah, well, and if you look, you hear some of the Democrats. about this impeachment. They say extreme MAGA. And the reason they talk about extreme MAGA, they're trying to come up with a classification that the Southern Poverty Law Center can label a domestic hate group so that they can outlaw it. They're trying to outlaw MAGA.
Yeah, and Matt Gaetz, by the way, yesterday, the one word he said on the floor of Congress, the uniparty, has never been said on the floor of Congress.
That was the first time Marjorie Taylor Greene's never said it? It was reported that was the first time?
Yeah, I got a gripe with you about her. Please let me get it out of my system. You always talk about Kevin McCarthy is and I believe he's a
snake.
He's a phony.
Snake.
He's a snake. But she has been behind him 150%. And you've gone along with President Trump made that phone call, and you figured, well, she's working with Trump. You know that she is the problem with that giant budget that came through.
Okay. Let's talk about Marjorie Taylor. Okay. No. Let's talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene. I know, and Laura Loomer and Marjorie Taylor Greene hate each other like the plague. I mean, they're they really okay. Did you watch Right Side Broadcasting when President Trump was at the fraternity house on Saturday?
No.
Okay, but you watch Right Side Broadcasting. Brian Glenn is the okay. When President Trump walked out of the fraternity house in Iowa on Saturday, he saw Brian from Right Side Broadcasting, and President Trump said, "Hey, my pal," and went over and started talking to him, and out of the blue everywhere. Brian is Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend. Okay, they both left their spouses for each other. They're a couple, and I that's not new. I've known that for some time, and also, but when President Trump came out to Brian from Right Side Broadcasting out of that fraternity house, that was different than I've ever seen. That was Trump talking to a close personal buddy of his that he hangs out with, because President Trump is so tight with Marjorie Taylor Greene. That means Brian from Right Side Broadcasting's tight with Trump too. They were like golf buddies, real golf buddies. If it's still online, go and watch that moment. You'll see what I mean. President Trump would rather have somebody else other than Kevin McCarthy as speaker. He couldn't quite pull that off, but he got Marjorie Taylor Greene's his handler. You know, like Coco Chow is Mitch McConnell's handler. She's Mitch McConnell's handler. She is Trump's direct representative.
Here, meanwhile, the Freedom Caucus, which is 150% MAGA, they're trying to get this country under control financially. She's been totally opposite and been a traitor to them. And the fact is that she went along with this big giant budget with McCarthy. This giant budget that Biden just passed with the Green.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of problems with her. I have a lot of problems with her. I mean, she's got a mouth on her, and she's a fighter, and she said some right things. But what?
And let me tell you, I believe. Listen, when you're in this kind of positions, there's I'm not saying I agree with these things that she's done, but I believe that she is President Trump's direct representative in Congress. And she is doing the work of President Trump. I believe that, and if you go and watch that Right Side, she's handling him, she's manipulating him for other things.
So he hasn't done the right thing by Trump.
No, he's not with us. He's not. Well, no, he hasn't done much. But I don't think it's working quite according to plan handling McCarthy. But as long as Trump is with Marjorie Taylor Greene, I'm with Marjorie Taylor Greene, because President Trump's got the big picture and he knows what he's doing. If you guys, anyone who saw President Trump's reaction with Brian from Right Side Broadcasting, that was a kind of Trump I don't think we've ever seen before. It was that kind of friendship, kind of bond. I could tell it was very different.
You want to know something, Brian? If President Trump met you tomorrow and you talked to him over a cup of coffee for an hour, Trump would be the same warm
person to you? Was he what?
No, this was different. This was different. You could tell this was like a personal friend that pals around. It was different. If you go see the video. Richie, I got to run for the break, but go see the video, okay? And those of you that saw that, I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. It was Trump in a way we really haven't seen, okay? That it was just a split second, all right? Just a millisecond moment. So if you blinked, you missed it. But I was like, wow, that was interesting. All right, our number's toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. Callers on hold, stand by. We'll take our last break of this first hour and come back with more of your calls. 1-888-GO-CANE-1. Remember, if you ever miss a portion of a show or you miss an entire show, you can always go to our radio station website, trueoldiesfla.com. And each day, about an hour after we go off the air at trueoldiesfla.com, Mike, our board op, uploads the entire show as a podcast. And maybe you called in and you want to save your call or download your call. You can do that, and it'll be in perfect stereophonic sound, studio quality sound, just like I hear in my headphones here in the radio studio. All right? We'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
Hey, it's Scott Shannon here with a question. How would you like a free doorbell camera? You get a doorbell camera.
Did you guys see that with Brian from Right Side and Trump? I mean, did you know it was different? It was different. That was not the normal way you see Trump. Mm-mm.
CFO and Director of Neuropathy. We want to welcome you to Lighthouse Medical Center this year. It's our 75th anniversary, and we've been able to help a lot of patients. We want to be able to help you with your neuropathy issues as well. If you have numbness, burning, pain, tingling, lack of sleep, or balance.
Just answering some DMs.
There's hope out there for you. We've had thousands of patients come through Lighthouse Medical Center. Being able to see the quality improved in their life and being able to help them and their family has been a blessing to us and a blessing to them. And we look forward to doing that for the next 75 years. We don't just treat neuropathy at Lighthouse Medical Center. We have a specialized knee pain program with non-surgical solutions for bone-on-bone and knee pain issues. We also treat chronic back pain, ankle, knee, hip, and shoulder pain. Call for a free consultation with us today. 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642.
We'll be back shortly, guys. This is just our last break of the first hour.
This is Steve Kane. I want to tell you about my favorite restaurant in all of South
Mm-hmm.
Florida. Wings Plus in Coral Springs. Wings just the way you like them. Plump, tender, and delicious. Crispy on the outside, succulent on the inside. Everything homemade. Nothing comes out of a can. Dozens of specialty sauces that will make your mouth.
Does anyone else watch Ahsoka, the new Star Wars series? Or is it just me and Mike?
We take on the social justice warriors.
All right, we're back.
Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. I want to talk about my chiropractor and his laser wave pain treatment, Dr. Philip Appleton. Oh, man, he's amazing. He is amazing. He's rid me of pain 5 times. And, you know, the last time he helped me, was after my skateboard accident, which I've retired from skateboarding, guys. I just don't think I'll be doing it anymore. You know, it's like, you know, Aaron Rodgers, they keep talking, oh, he's so old, how can he be out there? You know, you get injured easier. You don't recover as fast. You know, yeah, exactly. That's what happens. But the laser wave pain treatment works. It works. It's amazing. You know, I came in on the air, and I described this at the time. I was in so much pain. I don't know how I got through the show that day. And I was talking, I said, today after the show, I'm going to go see Dr. Appleton. And, you know, of course, I could just walk in because appointments are not necessary and walk-ins are welcome, even on Saturdays. The pain was awful. The way I described it, it felt like I had like a sharp steak knife stuck in the front of my shoulder, and somebody was inside cutting the muscle. That's how it felt while I was on the air. It was a pain like I have never experienced before. It was so bad. I mean, it was tough. I was almost in tears, and I don't know how I did the show that day. I don't remember the show other than being in pain and telling you guys about it. But I went to see Dr. Appleton. And I had the laser wave pain treatment. You know, I felt better. I felt relief as I was walking out of his office to my car. I couldn't believe. And then I went back a couple days later. It was either a Wednesday or a Thursday, because I went back on Saturday for a follow-up, and he gave me another treatment, and that was it. It was gone, the pain, and it has not returned. It's absolutely amazing. Okay, give Dr. Appleton a call and say bye-bye to your pain, guys. His number is 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. All right, we're talking about the impeachment of Biden. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, Brian, this is Wellington.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, I just I wanted to comment on the whole Biden impeachment just now going through and getting an inquiry again. But for me, it's a little late. You know, it's close to this election season.
Yeah.
Look political. It's going to look political, and it's actually going to make...
Well, it is political because it happens in the legislative branch of government. So what? It is political. It will always be political no matter when.
Right, but I mean, it's not that we're not getting what we wanted initially with this guy getting removed from office, hopefully in the end, if that does.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, I agree with you. They should have impeached him on day one as soon as they were... But they didn't, so let's enjoy what's happening now, instead of being miserable about what didn't. I don't worry about the past.
No, but I'm more worried about that being able to gin up their side more, because look what happened last time when we got impeached too. We got impeached. So for me, it's a very it's kind of a slippery slope to even do that, because what is it? It doesn't really mean anything unless there's enough public support.
I like Stargate Universe myself. What about you, Freedom Soup?
You know.
Listen. This is talking to you. This is what it used to be like talking to Republicans. You know, can't you enjoy something? I want to recap what I said at the top of the next hour, but what I was, but I'll do it now for you, because I guess did you miss the top at 6?
No, I heard something.
Well, let me repeat it because it didn't sink in. Okay, let me be like Hannity and repeat the same. Get a list out and repeat the same thing in and out of every break like Hannity, because he thinks his audience is stupid. But anyway, this guy is being brought down not by the Republicans, but by the Democrats and the deep state, Joe Biden. And that's why this is happening. All the evidence was given. So that means he's in trouble. That means he is on his way out.
I think that's why the burner was put on his son so slowly, is that they were trying to get him to coalesce with.
Correct.
But I mean, but what didn't they get from him? The first day this man walked into office, they signed away everything that Trump did. The second day, he signed away everything that they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my problem is that people should have been in outrage right then and there. When you saw somebody walk in there, didn't even know what he was signing, clearly said that on air, and didn't even know what he was signing.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, that should have been signal number one for these people to realize that this was all a Ponzi scheme that they pulled off in front of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have an election.
I mean, you live in the past too much, okay? Right now, look at what's going on. Trump is at 60% in the polls, all right? Ron DeSanctimonious is out there talking like the Lord of the Flies. It's the youth! It's the youth! We can't get rid of these old... Yeah, all right, Logan's Run here, you know. And Biden is probably going to be removed from office. Okay? So you're miserable. You should be happy.
It's not a miserable thing, no. It's just that it's all of what we were saying should have happened a long time.
Oh, should have. But if we lived in the world of should, lots of things would be different. But we don't live in the world of should.
Yeah, it's not like I wanted McCarthy as our speaker. I would have rather have Matt Gaetz or somebody like Donaldson from down here. But my issue is that these Californians, all these people that run that state, I don't trust none of them. Not one of them.
No, you listen. The entire political operation in California is compromised by the CCP. So you can't trust anyone from California. That is true.
You don't think it's the same way in Georgia? I mean,
no, Georgia, no. The reason that China controls California is because there's a lot of Asian Americans in California, and they can blend in better. No, it's not the same in Georgia. All right, hey, I appreciate the call. We're getting off on other things. I'm trying to stay focused. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, it's Andrea.
Hey, Andrea.
Well, this impeachment seems to be, a big thing. They're gassing everybody up. It's going to be dead in the...
No, it's not. It's not going to be dead in the Senate. It is not going to be dead in the Senate.
I'm going to tell you this, Brian. I agree with Richie. Marjorie Taylor Greene is controlled opposition. And I would go so far, in my opinion, I do not think that was President Trump that called her. I think she edited the contacts and had one of her staff call her.
No way. If you don't think, oh, give me a break. So you think Donald Trump has let us all believe that Marjorie Taylor Greene did not get a call from him? I don't think so. I don't think so.
I'm telling you, Marjorie Taylor Greene did not.
Oh my goodness. Why is President Trump such close friends with her and Brian from Right Side, her boyfriend?
Well, this is my opinion on Marjorie Taylor Greene. You know them by the fruits that they bear. And what happened? She got into politics. She got a little bit of celebrity. She cheated on her husband.
Yeah.
And destroyed her family.
Okay. It sounds more like you're talking about Lauren Boebert with this have you seen this of her getting thrown out of the play, and don't you know who I am? I'm Lauren Boebert, and she's in this theater behaving like Robert De Niro in what was that movie he did that was a remake of the Robert Mitchum movie? They made it here in Florida. I can't remember the name. But anyway, no, listen. This is what my rule of thumb is. If President Trump is with someone, regardless of what they're doing publicly or what I may think of them, I support them as long as President Trump does. President Trump has a big picture here, okay? A big picture. And the art of the deal is the art of compromise. And he knows what he's doing. And if he says she's okay to me. I will never question anything President Trump does, ever. And you shouldn't either.
No. I'm just going to say one
Cape
more
Fear,
thing.
yes. By the way, it was Cape Fear. Yeah, in Cape Fear, Robert De Niro smoking and laughing and being obnoxious in a movie theater. That's what Lauren Boebert was doing during this play. She was vaping. The way she was behaving, it sounded like a CBD vape she had going on there, and really made a fool out of herself. But don't you understand? You gotta trust in Trump. Don't question his plan, and really, you know better than Trump.
It's not that I know better than Trump. It's just that I know what politicians have done to this country, and I'm done. But
oh, you're done. Oh, okay.
See you. I want to say one thing to you. I've watched you now, I think for close to almost 3 years. The way you handled Jay yesterday and got him to out himself as the Nazi that he is was one of the finest things I have ever seen on all my years of watching YouTube and all my years of listening to conservative commentators. It was brilliant. It was flawless. I thought it was glorious. So well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was amazing.
Thank you. You know, a lot of people don't know. You know, I learned all this from Steve, of course, who learned all of this from Joe Pines. But, you know, it's a skill set that takes years and years to hone. And it's been enough years now that I think we can talk about this now, is Steve and I did some consulting during the Guantanamo Bay interrogation days on how to interrogate witnesses. And how to pull things out of them.
That was one of the finest moments I have ever witnessed. It was astounding. And then to watch him try to backpedal after what he realized that he admitted.
That's right.
Behaving like an actual Nazi, it was.
Well, I thank you. I thank you. All right. Well, hey, listen, I love compliments, but I'm up against a break. So, but thanks for the call and the compliments. But if you're on hold, stand by. Questioning Trump is believe me, President Trump knows what he's doing. He knows more than we do. He's got a plan, and I will never question what he's doing. If he says Marjorie Taylor Greene's okay, you should go along with that. You should not question him. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. I'm Brian Craig. We'll break for the top of the hour and be back right after this.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3 Indiantown. Programming paid for by
Why would you question Trump? Why would you question Trump? Why would you do that? Yeah, exactly. They're miserable because a lot of Republicans like to be miserable. They talk like losers, not winners. Yeah, I like Brian Glenn.
It's Wednesday, everybody. Hope you're off to a great start. We're still tracking Lee, which is going to pass by Bermuda, so we'll see a little higher surf and some rip currents today. Other than that, a high of 90 and a chance of afternoon storms. I'm WPBF 25 First Warning meteorologist Sandra Shaw.
Yeah, Freedom Soup was talking about Stargate. Yeah, I love all the Stargates, but I like Stargate Universe the best, and it only had that couple of seasons. That was my favorite of the Stargate series, was Stargate Universe. And, of course, Battlestar Galactica, both the original and the reboot, which was just amazing. I might rewatch that reboot, do a big binge. So spectacular. I didn't watch too much of Stargate Atlantis, though. I didn't watch too much of that one. Oh, yeah. Oh, Stargate Universe is really good. I think it only have 2 seasons, 2 or 3 seasons. It is really good. It was Stargate Universe was made around the time that the Battlestar Galactica reboot was doing so well. So it's more like Battlestar Galactica than the other Stargate shows, and it is really good. It's got Robert Carlyle in it, great English actor. I won't do any spoilers. Oh yeah, Laura Loomer, she's tough. I'm going to play that Jen Psaki clip when we come out of the break. This is just sick. Let me cue it up.
Pro-life now become...
Oh, I just played that on the air.
Pro-life now be...
I know. I hit that on the air. But you have to watch Stargate Universe Freedom Soup in order. You can't skip around. You got to watch them in order. Lou Diamond Phillips is in it. I love Lou Diamond Phillips. Lauren Boebert just made a fool of herself. She acted like she was drunk or high with some guy and got kicked out of a musical. Yeah, you can't skip around. You got to watch it in chronological orders because each episode leads into the next.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, hour number 2 has begun. Callers on hold, stand by. I want to play a clip of Jen Psaki. Have you heard this? Probably not because she's on MSNBC. Jen Psaki, what a weird name, right? 2 different types of alcohol. Sounds like a stripper name. Jen and Psaki. Sounds like some new fancy drink. And I don't understand why she's getting away with all this cultural appropriation. You know, Psaki, then, you know, she can do gin, that's American, but Psaki, then she's appropriating Japanese alcohol. But anyway, Jen Psaki was attacking Republicans because Republicans are, you know, those who support BLM. A lot of people don't know this. BLM. Did you know that the Republican Party supports BLM? That's right. Babies' lives matter. That's right. Babies' lives matter. BLM. You know, pro-life, supporting a baby's right to be born. And Jen Psaki made the most bizarre comment about babies in the womb. It's really twisted. Listen.
Becomes, in the words of Indiana Senator Todd Young, pro-baby. Pro-baby. Okay. I hate to break it to you, but if you call broccoli candy, it's still just broccoli. If you tie a really nice bow around a lump of coal, it is still coal under there.
Okay, she called babies in the womb broccoli and coal. Fetus, I believe, I don't speak Latin, I don't understand Latin, I never took Latin in school, but I've been told that Latin, fetus is Latin for, is it unborn child or child? Something like that, you know. And the reason that these liberals don't want us to call a baby in the womb a baby but a fetus is to dehumanize the unborn child in the womb. And Jen Psaki, to have some written commentary like this, really shows how twisted she is.
Pro-life now becomes, in the words of Indiana Senator Todd Young, pro-baby. Pro-baby. Okay. I hate to break it to you, but if you call broccoli candy, it's still just broccoli. If you tie a really nice bow around a lump of coal, it is still coal under there.
Wow. Yeah, and another Nazi-like position of the Democrats, dehumanize humans, like they did with Jews and others, the Nazis, the Democrats do with unborn children in the womb. You know, anyone ever been to a fetus shower? Probably not, but I bet you've been to baby showers. Mm-hmm. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Mike, it's Senator Doug.
Hey, Doug.
Man, this Jen Psaki, I think, how could she look herself in the mirror? You know, she's doing this. I don't believe she really believes this, but she will do anything for money. That's these liberals for you.
Yep.
And now, what a great day! I've been saying this for a long time. I couldn't wait for him to be impeached. The only thing that's bothering me is you got people like Huckabee saying, "Oh, you shouldn't impeach him," and then some of the Republicans.
Which Huckabee? Which Huckabee?
Governor Huckabee. Well, you said.
Yeah, she's a big turncoat. Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Yeah, she's a big turncoat.
Yeah, and a lot of Republicans are probably on the same page because maybe they don't want to have this vice president.
Exactly. Yeah, no, she's useless. She's useless.
But my main concern is it's an inquiry, and I don't trust this Kevin McCarthy. I'm thinking maybe he just did this to.
I don't trust Kevin McCarthy either, but it's happening. Stop talking like we're winning, and you guys want to talk like losers. You want to be. We get a little bit of a victory here, and you guys are like.
Well, I'm just concerned. I don't trust this. The Kevin McCarthy, when he says an inquiry, why should he inquire? What do we got to inquire about? We got a whole list of things you.
I'm fine with it. I haven't gone through it yet, but when we start going through the evidence, which a lot of us obviously know already, most people haven't, and when this evidence comes out, a lot of people are going to be like, "Oh my goodness, I didn't realize the inquiry will allow the evidence to come out," and people will say, "Wow, he's scummier than I ever dreamed." Hey, Doug, appreciate the call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning.
Yeah, Jay from Jersey.
Hey, Jay, what's up?
Oh, I'm trying to figure out what that dingbat was talking about. What did you do to me yesterday about some Nazi? Because I sure didn't hear it.
Okay, you blocked it out.
I must have.
Yeah, I don't blame you for blocking out what you said yesterday. That's how bad you looked. Well, what I pulled out of you, yes.
What did I say yesterday?
Well, go to our radio station website, trueoldiesfla.com, and you can hear your call from yesterday there on yesterday's show in perfect studio quality sound. I'd rather talk about today than your call yesterday. Oh, okay. I guess he ran to go to the website. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Richard from Pompano.
Hey, Richard.
Just quick, 1, 2, 3. Do you think this announcement about the impeachment is what Kelly was talking about? An announcement after Labor Day, but before politics?
No, because he said, Greg Kelly on Newsmax said there was a tape. We haven't seen a tape yet, audio or video.
Right. You're right. I forgot the tape. Okay. Thanks.
All right. Take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Hey, Mike.
You know, who was the guy that a few weeks back when we were talking about this said that this exact thing was going to happen? That would be me. I said, scenario that this guy is so corrupt that remember what Schumer said about Trump and that the deep state has 6 ways to Sunday of getting you?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We go. You know?
That's right.
This is them getting somebody that way. This is them, you know, like you said, everything happened after he announced, everything started to leak out after he announced he was running for president.
That's correct.
After Biden announced, that's when everything started to leak out.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted him going before that. They probably went to him before that and tried to be nice about it and say, look, we want you to resign, you know, go out. We'll find a way to get you your money. Go out. And
correct.
He gave him the middle finger and announced he was running.
Yes, that's correct. That's correct. Hey, Mike, take care. You're on the air, Jay.
Yeah.
You're back. It's 1 call per day, Jay.
You hung up on me.
I did not hang up on you.
And I didn't hang up on you, so...
Oh. I don't... It's a telephone, man. They're over 100 years old. Things happen. Telephone's old tech. Always a victim. Always a victim. You know, he gets disconnected on the phone, and you're always ticked off and a victim. I mean, give me a break.
Gates was on CNN last night. They questioned him about the evidence they had on Biden. And he said they don't have the evidence yet, but they're going to get some. Where's the evidence at?
Well, see, because you don't, because what happens is, no, they have evidence. Comer's committee, they got the bank accounts and everything else. They've talked about this.
Don't have any.
No, Comer, oh my goodness. No, it's scary. Listen, if you don't call again, that's fine. That's up to you.
Scared of me when you talk to me.
I knew it was you before I took your call the second time. If I so if I were scared of you, why would I have taken your call? Excuse me, if I will answer your question when I feel like it, but I want you to explain this to me. If I'm afraid of you, why do I put you on the air?
I don't know why you.
Well, because maybe I'm not afraid of you. How about that? Okay, it makes no sense. When he says we don't have the evidence, what he means is while Comer's committee has evidence, that the entire Congress has not seen the evidence yet. And also, evidence includes witness testimony, some of which has not happened yet, like with testimony from Hunter. All right, that...
They're talking about impeachment, and in order to, they said they can't even do it because they haven't got the evidence.
I just explained it. I explained it to you. You don't. When he says we, you don't understand what he meant. All right, listen. We're going to take our first break of the second hour. When we come back, there's much more to talk about. Call us on hold. Stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name's Brian. Our number 1-888-GO-KANE-1. Back after this.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Easy Pay Tire Store in Boynton Beach says, give the gift of...
Unbelievable. Thinks I'm afraid of him.
It's safe, simple, and it saves lives. This message from Easy Pay Tire Store at 619
Insane.
Highway in Boynton Beach. Your local Goodyear Tire and
I got an amazing story when we get back.
batteries, AC refill, and the great name of Goodyear Tires. For prompt, dependable service, call them at 561-732-2696. That's Easy Pay Tire Store, a proud sponsor of the Fall Blood Drive.
Where is that article? Okay.
How would you like to have instant access to a healthcare advocate at the touch of a button? Would that make life easier for you? You can with I Will Advocates. I Will Advocates will help you set up doctor's appointments, help with your pharmacy, even deal with your pharmacist to make sure that you have your prescriptions. They'll help you find a doctor, including a specialist. If you've been billed improperly by a doctor's office or a hospital, they can help you with that. Your advocate when you're in the hospital to make sure you get the care you need and the care you deserve. And that's just the beginning of what they do. I Will Advocates takes care of all Steve Kane's healthcare issues too, and they can do the same for you. I Will Advocate clients are family, and they go to bat for their family when you need them the most. Call Debbie at I Will Advocates right now. Toll free 1-877-275-2326. 1-877-275.
Welcome, everyone. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. And everyone, please like the video. There's over 1,200 people in the live stream right now. And most of you have not liked the video. So make sure you like the video. That helps grow the channel. He's tough on the phone, Jay. I had a run-in. I should tell this story on the air. I had a run-in. I told this when it happened. This was a few years ago with one of the creep callers that doesn't call anymore. Out in public. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. Should I tell that story when we get back on the air? I'll tell it on the air. It's hilarious.
Do you suffer from neuropathy? Maybe you do and you don't even know it. Do you have numbness, pain, burning, or tingling in your hands and feet? Muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching? Are you not sleeping? Does it feel like pins and needles in your hands and feet? Maybe you have no feeling at all. The symptoms can make life unbearable, but there is help at the Lighthouse Medical Center. Call 754-222-6642 for a no-charge consultation and say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. 754-222-6642.
All right, here we go.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at TrueOldiesFLA.com.
All right, welcome back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. I want to tell you guys about Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. He's been with us on the Steve Kane Show for many, many years. He's a great dentist, and we have a recorded commercial running with Richie the bus driver. Richie the bus driver has been a patient with Dr. Gupta for years now, and he drives over 140 miles to see Dr. Gupta. That's amazing. Isn't that amazing? Because Richie does not live here. He lives a few counties north of here, where we're at. And yeah, I know. Isn't that something? And the reason he does is a couple reasons. One, Dr. Gupta is a top dentist, as highly skilled as it can be. He does all kinds of dental work, from kids all the way up to dentures and everything in between. But he's a top dentist, and his prices are out of like the 80s and 90s. His prices are very, very affordable. And the high price of dental care scares a lot of people away from having dental work. Don't let money stop you from taking care of your mouth, taking care of your teeth. All the health in your body begins in the mouth. As crazy as that sounds, it is so true. Go see Dr. Gupta. I'm going to give you his number at Brighton Dental. He does great work. Make sure you mention you heard about him on the radio. His number, 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633. All right. Well, let me take another call or two, then we'll bring up some new stuff. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian. Ray of Sunrise.
Oh, hey, Ray. Long time no hear.
Yeah, I've been busy. Anyway, Brian, I'm tired, like you, of these Republicans that are so afraid of winning. Now,
yes.
There's a lot of good points, but he's so far off base here. There will be changes. There will be changes. First of all, there's going to be consequences. The first time, a Democrat is going to be held accountable, okay, for his actions. It's very big. It hasn't happened before. The second thing is all those wishy-washy, the undecided, the independents, whatever. We're going to pick up votes because this is going to become public. What we know, what we hear on Newsmax and from you, other people are finally going to hear. This is going to become...
For the first time. And not only that, Ray, they're going to hear it all at once, not scattered over years like we have, and they're going to be disgusted. They don't even know about the laptops. They think it's Russian disinformation.
Yeah, and that's the third thing. This collusion here with the FBI, the CIA, the Department of Injustice, the facts are going to come out, and the biased media is going to be exposed. The things that we know and we talk about among ourselves all the time, it's going to become public, and that's the big thing. Number 4, the other big thing's going to come out of this is setting the stage. You talk about consequences or nothing's going to change. This is setting the stage for a possible trial for treason. That's the big thing. All his dealings, all this money laundering, selling us out to China, that's treason. Still with the Ukraine. Look at the $6 billion going to Iran. What he's doing there.
Yep.
Everything that he's done. These things are going to come out. And if that comes out, then we get the civil trial and we get the treason trial. Now you're going to see changes, Richie.
Oh, yeah. And and Comer, they got the bank accounts. And remember, all the evidence Comer's committee has been given to them by the Justice Department, by the FBI. So what I was talking about at the top of the show, Ray, is what Biden's dealing with is what Nixon was dealing with. Nixon didn't resign because the Democrats hated him or Woodward and Bernstein. The Republicans told him, you don't have our support anymore, you're out. And he lost the support of the Republicans, and then he caved and resigned. Biden has lost the support of the Democrats. Now he's got the deep state after him. He's done, I believe.
Yeah, and you see, this thing about Marjorie Taylor Greene and the other things, it's again this I don't know, the syndrome or what you want to call it. But Republicans, they just seem so afraid of winning.
Yeah.
They just can't get their act together. And you know what? We do have snakes like McCarthy and so on. I never trusted him like you from the beginning. But now we're doing this inquiry, whatever the hell else they're doing. Get right to the damn impeachment. Get right.
Yes.
That's it. Get. This is timing. Timing is so important about everything. But you see the big picture, and you have it right about Trump. You can't look at little things, or little thing here, little thing there. It's the big picture, and that's what people don't see. And the big picture here, again, I got to repeat myself, it's the first time
that someone's going to be held accountable. The first time people are going to see the facts about the laptop, and the FBI covered it up, all these things, and the money laundering schemes, and all those things that they have about the, what do they call it, LTC, the banks that they go through and everything like that.
Yeah.
That they've done. All this is going to come out.
And not only do they have the bank, it's in, where's the bank in Cyprus? They have Biden's travel records to Cyprus when the transfer, they got it. And you know, I'm glad you called, Ray, because, you know, Ray is a retired New York City school teacher, which means he has a pension that's about $3 million a year. But But you know, listen, you were a conservative and there's an enemy territory for most of your life, and you know what it's like. So many Republicans can't just say we're winning and we got something. They're just miserable all the time, and you can't follow this in a play-by-play like it's a football game. You just can't do that. Now, with all that being said, Ray goes with us on all our cruises and on our shore excursions as well. And I remember
excursions and so on. Yep.
Yeah, and I want to talk to you about that, Ray, because Ray is retired. He's a single man. You come alone on all the cruises.
I'm gonna be 90 years old next year, bro.
Oh my goodness, 90 years old. Oh my goodness. But you come alone on all the cruises, and you make friends. You got friends from our group. You meet new friends. Sometimes they're lady friends.
Yeah, Mary from California. Hope she's coming again. We had a great time.
Yeah. So if you don't have someone to come with you, you've got our family and friends, and I remember on our first cruise you were by yourself, and I set you at a table that was all single women. Yeah. Then I didn't see you for a couple days. But hey, Ray. All right. I'll see you on the cruise.
Go out 3 days a week, you know, and a busy.
I know, but you're listening. All right, no phones on the golf course. All right, take care, Ray. All right, take care, Ray. I'll see you on the ship. Yeah, he's a good guy. Yeah, he always meets a lady on every cruise. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah.
I hear myself in the background. You're on the air once, twice. Hey, Debbie, you're up. Turn down the volume of the radio in the background.
Okay, I will do it. I'm there.
That's okay. We'll wait. You got to turn the volume down.
Talking to you, and I know you don't like attaboys, but I have to get. Okay, after saying out loud.
Do me a favor, because you're about to compliment me. Turn the volume down of the radio in the background, and then say what. No, I can still hear myself in the background. You got to turn the volume all the way down. You got to turn it off.
Okay.
Listen over your phone, not the radio. There's a delay. What's on the radio was 12 seconds ago.
Okay, turning it down.
Completely down. Turn it off. Just turn it off. Listen over the phone.
Okay, now?
Now we're fine. Go ahead. What's on your mind?
Okay, and here's your attaboy. For years, we've been talking things in our home that you have the courage to do out loud. Thank you for supporting Trump, for believing in Trump, and you recognize that he is always ahead. He always knows what's coming on, and I hope someday he pulls you into his fold and gives you the accolades you deserve, because you're putting out there what we're all saying in our home.
Well, I appreciate that. Well, thank you so much. Now, when I end the call, turn the radio back up. All right? All right, take care. Oh, man. All right, listen, we'll take our break for the bottom of the hour. There's much more to share. If you're on hold, hang in there. Our number, 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. Back after this.
Making morning radio great again.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, yeah, we have a fun group. And Ray, at his age, it amazes me that he goes on the, we do different excursions. We do excursions that are more intense than others, and Ray is always there with us. Yeah, I know, all this sucking up, I love it. Yeah, we always plan excursions, like some of them are more extreme and then some of them are easier, you know, for people to have it. And Ray, no matter how physical they are, he goes on the excursions with us at his age. It's crazy. I can hardly keep up with him. Yep.
And now, a True Oldies traffic check, brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Well, the delay is different depending on where you're listening. It's different on each radio station and on every device and every app. It's different. It can be as long as a minute. On the radio, it's usually between 7 and 15 seconds on the radio delay. I'm always telling people to turn it down. Most people don't have, usually, see, when you do call screening, like these other shows, the board op, the call screener will tell them. But like I always say, I do not like screening the calls. I think it's much more fun not screening the calls. I could, you know. Oh, goodness. Yeah, the compliments can get embarrassing, but there's one, well, I don't want to say, because it'll sound self-serving. Somebody passed me a really good compliment yesterday, but I don't want to. If I do, it'll be self-serving it'll sound self-serving if I say it. Freedom Soup, let me know what you think about Stargate Universe after you're done with the series, not until you're done with the series. I might rewatch it, actually. I don't know where it's at now. I haven't watched it in a long time.
As the Jewish high holidays approach, are you looking for a warm and welcoming congregation like you had back home? The members of Temple Israel are extending their hands to you to join us in worship with Rabbi Carly Daniel, Rabbi Brian Daniel, Ken Doyle Solis, Suzanne Gwinan, as we welcome the new year in our beautiful sanctuary. Temple Israel, located on Flagler Drive in West Palm Beach, is a Reformed congregation with an amazing history. As the oldest Jewish organization in Palm Beach County, we are celebrating our 100th. You're separated from loved ones and friends this year. Don't be a stranger. Come home to your Temple Israel family. We welcome you with open arms to pray with us on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Call 561-833-8421 or find us on the web at temple-israel.com. We are waiting for your call to bring warmth.
I don't understand this escaped convict. I mean, if that were in my neighborhood, first off, I would send my wife to go stay out of the neighborhood, out of town. But everybody in our neighborhood, we'd be going house to house, knocking on doors with the police, And he's got a rifle. What kind of rifle does he have? Have they said what kind of rifle? A 22? Oh my goodness. That's so lame. I wonder if it's a 22 single shot rifle. That's like a kid's gun. And how many rounds does he have with him? Did they say anything about that? All right, welcome back. You know, I just want to talk about this escaped prisoner. I've been following this. This just blows my mind. You know, if there was, first off, I wouldn't live anywhere near a prison or a jail. Steve lives not far from a women's prison, you know. But I wouldn't live anywhere near when I was a kid, my dad was a prison guard at the maximum security prison in Belgrade. When this was like in the 70s, they used to have escapes all the time, and things were a lot different back then. And I remember once I went to the prison in Belgrade is like the prison in Brubaker. Remember Brubaker? You ever see that movie? I remember once my dad took me to the prison. I can't remember why, and we left the prison. And we went to a convenience store, like a 7-Eleven type place. This was in Belgrade, to get, you know, drinks. And this guy pulls up in a pickup truck that my dad knew from the prison. And they sat out there and they talked for like an hour and a half or so. It seemed like, I was a little kid. It seemed like, you know how time is when you're a kid. Could have been 10 minutes. But my dad's talking to this guy for like an hour and a half in the parking lot in front of this convenience store. You know, we got bottled some Pepsi and stuff. And the guy leaves, and I said, "Oh, is that one of the guards you work with, Dad?" He's like, "No, he's a trustee. He's a prisoner." And I was like, wow. I don't think it's that way in Belgrade anymore at that prison. But they used to have trustees driving around in pickup trucks. I can't imagine. But I would not live anywhere near a prison. But I think to myself, if there was an escape prisoner in my neighborhood, like this guy in Pennsylvania. Now, I'm not saying that I'm going to get my Glock out and you know, start doing a search alone, but I would think that the people in my neighborhood, we would have the cops come over and start doing a door-to-door search just to make sure everyone's okay. I don't understand how they don't get, you know, these prisoners, they always get caught. Remember the, and law enforcement aren't too good at, remember that guy that escaped with the lady prison guard? Was that last year or the year before? Now, that was an interesting one. And remember, she was the jail guard, and she took him off. She was driving him to a fake doctor's appointment or something. And did you see what they did? The first place they went was to the sex shop to buy sex toys, went to a hotel and had sex. She had sold her house for cash, and they had a lot of money. They had tens of thousands of dollars, and they blew through that money. By the time they got them, she was dead, right? Remember, they had a high-speed chase that ended in an accident which killed her. He lived, and she's probably better off. I mean, you know, she was an older lady. She would have gone to prison forever. I mean, it was awful. But she had like over $80,000 in cash, and just a few days later, she just had like $20,000-$30,000. You know, they had burned through so much cash, and they were staying in some dumpy Motel 6 kind of place. You know, and I remember there was another couple of guys, this was maybe about 5 years ago, escaped from a prison up north. Remember this? One of them was having, one of the prisoners was having sex with a nurse, a lady nurse in the prison, and she hid in frozen hamburger a knife or a file or some type of cutting device that they used to escape with. Remember this? Remember how they found those guys? They were just walking down the street. And they got him somebody saw them walking down the street. They always get these guys because being on the run for these convicts, it's not that easy to do. But I know that if there was an escaped prisoner in my neighborhood, my wife would be staying out of town, and I would probably stay home because of the pets. but I know the people in your neighborhood too would probably do this. The police come over and you start doing door-to-door knockety-knocks to make sure everyone's okay. It seems to me to be very, very strange that this guy's out. So now they say he's got a rifle. And I don't know this for sure. I asked off the air. I haven't looked, but it's a 22. You can't have a weaker rifle than a 22. I've got a couple 22 rifles and that are single shots. I don't know how many rounds he has. I don't know how many rounds the 22 he has hold. There are a lot of single-shot 22 rifles. I don't know what this guy's got. But one of the reasons that when these people escape, it's hard to catch them is because they're being looked for by police who are government workers. And government workers, well, you know, kind of incompetent people become government workers. And, you know, I would like to see Dog the Bounty Hunter catch this guy. Dog the Bounty Hunter's on the case, and he doesn't think that they're going to catch him alive. And I don't know. I like Dog the Bounty Hunter. You guys like Dog the Bounty Hunter? He's doing all these interviews. I haven't heard anybody ask him about Maui. You know, he's from Hawaii. But anyway, I follow these cases, and they're always fun and interesting to follow. But if there was an escaped prisoner in my neighborhood, I would be a lot less casual than these people I see on television. Now, here's a story I wanted to share with you before we get back to the politics. This is an amazing story. I'm not sure if you heard this story. A pregnant woman with brain cancer was told by her doctors to have an abortion, and she refused. Did you hear this story? That's right. Her doctor said, we recommend that you have an abortion. Her name's Tasha Khan. She's from Michigan, and shortly after she learned she had brain cancer, she found out she was pregnant. The young mother, who was 20 weeks pregnant with her second child, had just been diagnosed with a rare aggressive brain cancer. Her doctors urged her to have an abortion so that she could receive chemotherapy and radiation. Tasha says, I told them absolutely not. So she couldn't have the chemo or the radiation because she was pregnant. She gave birth to a healthy baby girl more than a year after her diagnosis, defying the doctor's predictions. She is still alive, and her daughter is alive and healthy as well. You know, that's absolutely amazing. And, you know, the thing about this, this clip I played, I was going to talk about this with the Jen Psaki clip. Let me play this Jen Psaki clip. I played this in the first hour, but I wanted to play this. This was Jen Psaki this week. It was either yesterday or the day before. I can't remember. Jen Psaki was talking about Republicans refuse to say fetus. They're saying baby, you know, and things. And there's a new thing that conservatives are starting to say, baby lives matter, right? BLM. And Jen Psaki was responding to Republicans refusing to call babies fetuses, right? And this is what Jen Psaki said.
Pro-life now becomes, in the words of Indiana Senator Todd Young, pro-baby. Pro-baby. Okay. I hate to break it to you, but if you call broccoli candy, it's still just broccoli. If you tie a really nice bow around a lump of coal, it is still coal under there. Okay, so she's calling a baby broccoli or a lump of coal. That's Jen Psaki. Yeah, I know. Isn't that something? Inanimate objects. It's a non-human. It's pretty sick, Jen Psaki, and she's too stupid and brainwashed in her liberalism to realize how sick and twisted her mind is. But this woman who refused the abortion, she survived cancer. She has a healthy daughter now. You know, what she did, most people in the press and the liberals will tell you she's crazy. She should have gotten the chemo, had the abortion, had the chemo. Well, a parent's natural instinct, and anyone who's a parent will tell you this, a parent's natural instinct is to put your life in danger to save your child. Right? Like, for example, if you and your child are crossing the street and there's a bus coming, and to save your child, what will you do? You would push your child out of the way and jump in front of the bus and push your child out of the way and get run over by the bus.
That's the natural human instinct of a parent. A parent's natural instinct is to sacrifice their lives and maybe even kill to save their child. Kill another, not the child. And these lefties like Jen Psaki, who laugh at this mother, the coven, these ladies on The View would think she's nuts, that she put her unborn child's life ahead of her own. Well, that's human nature. That's the human instinct. And what liberalism does is tell you to go against your natural instincts. It's not the parent's life, it's the child's life that comes first. In any situation a parent faces, unless they're a creep of a parent. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian Carey, how are you this morning?
Hey, Carey, what's up?
That's okay. Very quickly, as far as talking about the 22 rifles, they do make 22 rounds that are Magnum rounds.
Yep.
Were hurt. Many years ago, I was still a cop in New York. We had a guy got shot in the arm, and the bullet traveled up, ricocheted around, and went into his heart, and he died.
That could happen, yes, sure.
So you have to be careful, even though 22 is a small round. You have to be very, very careful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd rather go up against a 22 than a 12 gauge, though.
Yes, the 12 gauge definitely going to be wearing a ballistic. It's still going to make a nice black and blue.
Mm-hmm. All right, that's it, Carey. All right, short and sweet, and just in time because it's time for a break. We'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
When it comes to dental work, there's no one better than Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. But don't just take my word for it. This is Richie the bus driver. He called in on the air to share his experience with Dr. Gupta. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Richie. Dr. Gupta. I go 139 miles to this guy. I had a broken tooth. He fixed it. It was supposed to be temporary. It lasted 2 years. He put dentures in my mouth that are a lot cheaper than anybody else. And he's excellent and no pain. I recommend this guy. To me, he's the best ever. So I want to get that out of the way.
Listen to Richie the bus driver. Go see Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633.
Yeah.
Amazing live entertainment, spectacular ocean breezes, and so much more. Don't miss your last chance to break away to the Bahamas with cruises for two, starting at $99. Book today at margaritavillagec.com.
Are you exhausted after work with no energy left in the tank to give your family? Are you having a midday crash on a daily basis? Women, are menopause symptoms like hot flashes, anxiety, and depression making your daily life feel far more difficult than it should? Men, do you feel like you're aging far beyond what you should? Is your sexual life and relationships suffering because of disappointments in the bedroom? Then take action and let our medical team at Lighthouse Medical Center help you stop the symptoms that are holding you back. We use all natural hormone optimization therapies with precision technology to help solve your problems.
Oh, Biden's guys have really screwed up this time.
Call us right now and let our medical team get you optimized and feeling the way that you should. Life is too short to be running at less than 100%. You and your family deserve the best version of you. Call us at 754-222-6642 or visit us at lighthousemedicalcenter.com to schedule your consultation today.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, welcome back, one and all. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. If you or someone you know have neuropathy, oh, man, you're suffering, right? I mean, neuropathy is living torture. But there is help and relief from your neuropathy symptoms that make life unbearable and painful at Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano. You know, we found Lighthouse Medical Center out of necessity. Steve's got the neuropathy. He had every symptom there is, every symptom. And I'll go through them. The numbness, pain, burning, tingling in the hands and feet, dizziness, muscle weakness, muscle twitching, the feeling of pins and needles in the hands and feet, sometimes no sensation at all. You know, you can have those symptoms in rotation, or you can have multiple symptoms at the same time. It makes life living torture. And Steve's neuropathy, we had two things coming up. We had an appearance, the one where they called the police on us because we were MAGA, and the cruise coming up. And you know, I don't know if I can do this. I can get out of bed. It's. So we went on a search. Steve went to his doctor. His doctor said there's no treatment. You know, and Steve begged and pleaded because he was suffering. So his primary care physician sent him to a neurologist, which is a specialist in such things. And the neurologist says, go home, that's your life now. Get used to it. You'll learn to live with the pain, all right? Isn't that something? It's sick, isn't it? That's the medical profession today. And we didn't take that for an answer, so we found Lighthouse Medical Center. They have a treatment for neuropathy that works. It worked in Steve Kane, and I know it's worked in many people in this listening audience. I'm going to give you their number. No matter where you are, they can help you. Even if you cannot make it into their office, they can still help you. All right, now make sure you mention you heard about them on the radio so you can take advantage of their no-charge consultation. All right? This consultation is available for free to only listeners of this program. Everyone else, they can't do free consultations all day with everybody that calls, but they do that for you guys in this audience. And, you know, a lot of times, it's not the patient, it's a child or spouse of the neuropathy sufferer that calls. All right? Here's the number, 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. And online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com. All right, so I got an update here on the stupidity of the Biden White House during this impeachment, and they've done something that backs up my statement that I started the show with. Let me recap what I said at 6 about this impeachment, and then this story backs it up and shows that I think I'm right. Now, what I started the show with at 6 was with this. We've had a lot of impeachments, all right? Trump's, Clinton's, and of course the first one, Andrew Johnson, who was Lincoln's vice president, who became president, okay? What impeachments really have become, prior to this one, are just showboating of the political party that controls the House, okay? And I know Kevin McCarthy was put under some pressure to do this, but this one's not showboating. And all these other impeachments, I remember Bill Clinton's in 1998, you know, we all knew he was not going to be convicted in the Senate, just like with Trump. You need a 2/3 majority vote. And that's never happened. Presidents have been impeached, President Trump multiple times by these low-life Democrats, but no president has been removed from office after an impeachment. And I'm here to tell you that this time, it's a real possibility. I give the odds 60-40 Biden is removed from office in the Senate trial. The reason I say that is not just wishful thinking, it's backed up by evidence. All right? And I got a new story here that backs up my argument, which I'll share when I go through, after I'm done going through this again. The evidence that they have, which includes bank accounts and travel records, with a witness, all this evidence was, none of it, not one shred of the evidence that the Republicans have was uncovered through any congressional investigation. No investigation, no committee hearings, and no witness interviews. All of the evidence that the Republicans have through Comer's committee was handed to them with a bow around it from the FBI. Okay? The witness is an FBI informant. The bank account and travel records and all that they have, FBI gave that to them. The FBI took just one little thing that they have in their file. You know, they have files on all these people, and they gave it to them. So the reason that this impeachment is, in my opinion, which could be wrong and this could evolve and change, but I 60-40, he is removed in the Senate trial. The other ones was 100% never going to happen. This one I give it 60-40. That's tremendously higher odds compared to the other ones. The other ones there was no chance. Clinton's and Trump's, no chance. This one's different. The FBI is the deep state. They want Biden out. The deep state want Biden out. This impeachment is approved by the deep state. And if you've noticed lately, Biden had, before this yesterday, over the past 2 weeks, the Democrats and the liberal media have been very vocal saying they want Biden to drop out of the race, and he won't do it. Okay? And when you got the deep state after you, that's when you're in trouble. And as I said to some callers earlier, Richard Nixon's resignation had nothing to do with Woodward and Bernstein. I know Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein have made an entire life out of they brought down Nixon. That is not true. Okay? And the Democrats didn't bring Nixon down either. Nixon was not worried at all until, and Steve will remember the name because he lived through it. I can't remember which ones came to him off the top of my head, but Steve will remember. The Republicans walked over to the White House. They probably drove and walked in. But the Republicans went to the White House and told Richard Nixon, you've lost the support of the Republican Party. You're out. Nixon resigned from office because he lost the support of the Republicans, not because the Democrats were after him. All right? Biden has lost the support of the Democrats, the mainstream media, and the deep state. That's why he's done. Now, this is just amazing, this story, and stupid. It's the arrogance of this lifelong criminal, Joe Biden. Listen to this. This is being widely reported today. This article I'm reading from is in the Daily Mail, but it's being reported in other sources. Let me read this to you. The Biden administration has plans to send out a letter today to the major news organizations, and major news organizations, of course, are all left-wing establishment corporate media. The Biden administration has plans to send out a letter today to the major mainstream fake news organizations demanding that the news organizations probe what they call lies of the House GOP's impeachment. That's right. Ian Sams, who's special assistant to Joe Biden and senior advisor to the White House counsel's office, has penned a letter to the media outlets that will be sent out today. Among the outlets targeted, CNN, the New York Times, the Associated Press, and Fox News. The letter says it's time for the media to ramp up its scrutiny of House Republicans for opening an impeachment inquiry based on lies. This is what's in the letter. He added the impeachment should set off alarm bells for news organizations, but commentators both left and right-wing have condemned this, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Now, Fox News, they describe as right-wing. Fox News is fake right-wing, okay? They're fake conservative. They are a rhino news outlet. There's some people over there that are conservative. I get it. And I like Greg Gutfeld, but as an outlet, they're CNN, right? They're Fox in name only. So when the Democrat White House has to put pressure on the liberal mainstream media to support them, they're done. This is unheard of. You know, last week I played clips from CNN. It was James Carville, Dana Bash, and Van Jones. But there were others. They spent an entire day saying Biden should drop out and announce he's not running. And he didn't do it. Now this happened. Don't you get I don't know how much this is soaked into you guys out there, but to have CNN is the CIA. Dana Bash is CIA. Anderson Cooper is CIA, all right? I've talked about this a lot. Dana Bash, her husband that she got the Bash name from, Deputy Director CIA. Anderson Cooper, when he was in college, interned 2 summers in a row at the CIA headquarters in Langley, Virginia. And then after he was out of college, before he was a big deal with, he had a game show, remember? The Mole, which was a CIA-modeled reality show. You guys remember The Mole? Before he did The Mole and was at CNN, he was a independent journalist, freelancer who traveled the world to hotspots covering news. That's CIA op. He's CIA. So when you guys can look all this up, I know it sounds crazy to some of you that I say CNN is CIA, but it's true. For CNN to be this critical of a sitting Democrat president facing re-election is unheard of. In fact, this is a first. All right? There was never a Democrat president that CNN was not being a cheerleader for and covering for, except Biden. So there's a lot of tells out here. This is the first impeachment that is not a symbolic party move. All right? And he is in big, big trouble, Joe Biden, on this. So if he doesn't resign, they're going to remove him from office. I know this sounds complex, and there's, you know, and it's and I know it sounds hard to believe and far-fetched, but I'm telling you, they have a plan. Their full plan, I don't know. He could probably end it if he announced he's not running for re-election or resigns. But I don't think he has it in him to do either. You know, when people have this kind of power, they don't give it up that easily, especially when you're as arrogant as Joe Biden, who's been doing crime for 50 years and gotten away with it, and it's been quite profitable. So he's not going to resign, and he's not going to announce he's not running for re-election. He's going to ride this out because they think that this is another one of those symbolic impeachments. Impeachments don't mean anything anymore. You know, there's been so many. People are bored with impeachments. This is the real deal. All right. Now, we're coming up to the end of the hour. After our top of the hour break, Steve will be joining us. We'll go back to the calls. But this letter to the mainstream corporate media begging them to defend Biden from the White House, never heard of such a thing. That means they know they've lost the media, and it's really a desperate move for them to make. Our number's toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. And remember, if you miss a part of the show or miss an entire show, you can always go to our radio station website, trueoldiesfla.com. Each day, about an hour after we sign off the air, the entire show is uploaded as a podcast at trueoldiesfla.com. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. We'll take our break for the top of the hour and come back right after this.
HD3 Indiantown. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. Broadcasting from the Rogue Studio. Injured recently? Call the Rogues Law Group, where winning is a habit. 561-570-5700. 561-570-5700. Rogues, winning for you and our community. Your home for the Steve Kane Show. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created. Here's the oldies forecast.
It's Wednesday, everybody. Hope you're off to a great start. We're still tracking Lee, which is going to pass by Bermuda, so we'll see a little higher surf and some rip currents today.
By the way, Bruce, thank you.
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club. Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. BBKC is the county's only open
Unreal.
location featuring betting action from top horse tracks around the country. See, bet, and win on great races in our incredible paddock restaurant with over 140 new HD TVs, big screens, exceptional eats, and full bar. The paddock is also your best bet for special events, comedy, music, and dinner shows. For a full schedule of upcoming events, go to pbkennelclub.com. Here's your True Oldies ABC News update.
ABC News now. I'm Tom Ripley.
contest. Should voters worry about the ages of President Biden and former President Donald Trump?
I think that's an absolutely legitimate concern.
All right. The more Ron DeSantis talks, the less I like him. You know? You guys feel the same way?
So you're getting an LED touchscreen pad, a motion detector, 3 armed doors, and a backup battery. Plus, if you're one of the first 40 true oldies channel listeners,
Exactly.
dial 833-283-5050, you'll receive
Hey, what's up?
doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman Shield. So call Sloman's now for this limited time offer, 833-283-5050. That's 833-283-5050.
Join us for Moments of Scripture, hosted by Jan Coleman every Sunday morning from 6 to 6:30 a.m. We will read the Bible, pray, and offer blessings to all who listen in the name of our Lord and Savior. Moments of Scripture every Sunday at 6 a.m.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. The third hour has begun. It's the Steve Kane Show. Call us on hold. Stand by. Very busy phone. Steve Kane joining us. Hey, Steve.
Good today. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. I'm doing great. You'll remember, who were the Republicans that went and told Nixon, you lost the Republican support, get out, you're done?
That I recall was a senator from...
No. I thought you would have known the names like that. You were there. You were there. Well, what I was talking about, Steve, call us on hold, stand by. We'll go to the phones in just a moment. But what I was talking about right before the top of the hour, the reason I say this is the first impeachment that's just not a symbolic gesture is because Biden has lost the support of the Democrats. And what did Nixon in was not Woodward and Bernstein or the Democrats. It's when he lost the support of his own party that he was out Nixon. And I think Biden's in a...
Oval Office, and they took
That's right.
the senatorial delegation, and they told Nixon, sorry, pal, the votes aren't there.
And they've done that to Biden in different ways, and he said, get out of here. I don't care. And so he's being impeached. And he has if he does not resign, or his other option is to announce he's not running for re-election, he has I think it's 60-40 he's removed in the Senate. It'll be the first time ever, but he's got the FBI deep state after him.
Well, let's take some calls on. The reason I'm a little skeptical is I was listening to the
Yeah.
yesterday, and all the usual Democrats were getting up and saying the usual crap about he didn't do anything. I guess they figure they're
He did no. Well, that's just absurd. I mean, to say that he's done nothing wrong, I know I heard it too. But yeah, you have to be insane. I mean, Fetterman's response was more credible than those responses. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian from Deerfield.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Brian, how are you? Hi, Steve, how are you? Was that Senator Joe Lieberman from Connecticut?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Wait a minute. Way back, Joe Lieberman was a senator back in Nixon's time? That long? It's possible. I don't know.
Yeah. You know what's interesting? I just caught a tail end of an interview with Comer. He looks like he's re-energized and emboldened now. And what's amazing to me is here we are, I don't want to say allies, but the deep state and the corrupt media going after Biden too. I think it's a done deal.
Well, first off, I take very much offense to the fact that you're cheating on Steve and me. You say you just saw Comer, an interview with Comer that wasn't on this show. Oh my goodness, you're committing adultery. You're committing listener adultery.
I didn't realize it was a mortal sin. But I got to tell you,
yes.
They think our allies on this with the deep state and the corrupt media, it's really something to watch. But I think he's done, and I want to see them also get him to regorge all this money. They're talking $20 million so far. They've got the records on.
Well, this is the thing that I point out. All this evidence they have against him. Bill Clinton. that was suborning perjury. Nobody even knows what that is. That's like jaywalking compared to this. But all of this evidence, the travel records, the bank accounts, the money transfers, all of the Comer didn't do any investigations or have any witnesses. The FBI walked this information over to Comer and gave it to him. Okay? So that tells me he's got that means the deep state want Biden out.
Yes. Well, without the deep state and the FBI and the television news going against it, do you think we'd have a chance of getting him?
Well, no, yes. In fact,
Yeah, I walked it over. What is your time frame on that? When
they did this a few months ago. It was a couple months back.
senators and congressmen getting up saying, "Don't believe your lying eyes"?
Oh, that's just TV rhetoric. The FBI gave Comer's committee the bank records, the travel records of Biden to be there when the bank transfers happened, and it was in Cyprus. No vice president had been to Cyprus since Johnson was vice president, right? And they gave the FBI also gave an FBI informant to Comer to back all of it up. So the FBI gave a package and a bow to Comer. Comer did no witnesses, no investigations, no nothing. So he's got the deep state after him. The FBI brought down Nixon, and Woodward and Bernstein did zero investigative reporting. Felt was deep throat. The FBI gave them everything. They didn't do any all that stuff in the movies is a lie. In all the president's men, they were given. The FBI got Bill Clinton impeached. Okay, they got Bill Clinton impeached. Oh, well, because he started cooperating, and Biden hasn't done that yet. If Biden does what they want, he won't be removed either. So he's got the deep state after him. That's why he's done.
Well, with all the damage this guy has done to this great republic we have, I'm glad to see this guy in a full court press. I hope they put the screws to him big time.
Yeah, and and this is another thing you got to understand, because a lot of people are going to say when this evidence, it's old news. Old news to you and me, but to the majority of the American people, all they know is that the laptop is Russian disinformation. Why do you, so when the stuff from the laptop starts coming out to people that don't follow the news every day, it's going to be shocking to people.
It will, and the stuff on our laptop is unbelievable, including the videos. But this is, I think they got him. I think it's going to be good to watch.
Oh, yeah. All right, take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning, Brian Lewis from Plantation. And I agree with you 1,000%. I think his days are numbered. What I would love to hear is some Democrat that's intelligent and well-informed.
Oh, my goodness. Hold on. A Democrat that's intelligent and well-informed? Exactly. Come on.
Somebody that's actually listening to your show that might qualify in those two criteria, refute or present an argument contrary to yours, because I agree. Yeah, I think his days are numbered. But one of the things real quickly is I was watching Newsmax, and Schmidt, I love Schmidt, he was talking about how Biden was saying after 9/11, he was out there and looking through the gates of hell. And, I guess President Biden, he was actually in the Senate, as they say, in D.C., and I guess he invented teleportation back then because he was in two places at one time. If I was a family member or somebody that passed away in 9/11, I would take such offense to this moron's statement about being there the day after. And he has no idea where he's standing. He didn't back then.
He knows. No. He always lied, even when he was young and coherent. He was flown by helicopter with the rest of the Congress to military bases, and he was hiding. He was in hiding.
Yeah, but that 9/11 is one of those somber moments in our nation's history, and this guy just outright lies about it. It's really sad.
It's amazing to me. I want to play this clip of Ron DeSantis that people are talking about today. This is Ron DeSantis. He's so desperate. He's doing interviews with CBS News. Remember, CBS News are the ones that had the fake document that George Bush was AWOL from the Texas Air National Guard. Remember that? This is DeSantis with Nora O'Donnell, CBS News.
Age has become an issue in this presidential contest.
Should voters worry about the ages of President Biden and former President Donald Trump?
I think it's an absolutely legitimate concern. And the presidency is not a job for someone that's 80 years old, and there's nothing, wrong with being 80. Obviously, I'm the governor of Florida. I know a lot of people who are elderly. They're great people, but you're talking about a job where you need to give it 100%. We need an energetic president, and I think that if the founders could kind of look at this again, I do think they probably would have put an age limit on some of these offices. I mean, it seems like our leadership class now in Washington, 75, 80 plus years old is where those folks are. And I think Americans, if Biden's the Democrat nominee, I'm the Republican nominee, I think there's gonna be a lot of Americans that are gonna want to see a generational passing of the torch.
Okay, this is a common thing with younger people that if you're older, your time is done. It's time for the Lord of the Flies to take over here, okay? And that is probably one of the dumbest comments I've heard Ron DeSantis make during all of this. First off, it's not the age that is the problem. It's the condition health-wise, both mentally and physically. And Biden is feeble and got a lot of other problems. Donald Trump is running a campaign with a level of energy that, I can't believe. He's in South Dakota Friday night. He did an epic speech late at night. He flew back to New Jersey, and then the next day in the morning, he flew out to Iowa and did that campaign. I saw DeSantis in Iowa. He was driving around in a car, waving at people, doing the royal wave. He looked exhausted, like he was falling asleep. Trump was filled with energy. President Trump is not a mortal man. You know what I mean? He's a self-made billionaire, multiple billionaire. That a normal person doesn't do that, okay? He's a special person physically, mentally, and everything else. And that's a real bad move, I think, for DeSantis to make, And I have not seen for 3 or 4 months a poll out of Florida. I can't find one. A poll out of Florida. The last poll, a couple months back, President Trump was about 30 points ahead of DeSantis in Florida. I'd like to see a new one. I bet you he's down in the teens in Florida, Ron DeSantis versus Trump, okay? And then he says we need someone that does their job 100% of the time. I know we briefly stopped by for that hurricane, but other than that, when have you seen him? And also this, he had a big loss last week to Disney. He made a secret deal with Disney and caved to Disney last week. It's not being reported because the media are covering. Disney was suing the governor in the state of Florida, and he made a secret agreement, which we're not even clear on the details of, that if they drop their, that he got Disney to drop their lawsuit against the state. He made some concessions. We don't know exactly what yet, but DeSantis made some concessions to Disney last week so that they would withdraw their lawsuit. So this guy, he's not ready for prime time. And when he talks about, well, I'm 40, however old he is, and these guys are older than me, what does that mean? It means they're more, it means Trump's more experienced and wiser. You're inexperienced, not wise. If he had good judgment, he wouldn't have betrayed Trump and the people that put him in the governor's mansion twice. All right, that's why he's unelectable forever. All right, our number is toll free 1-888-GO-KANE 1-888-465-2631. We'll be right back.
Age has been.
On the sidelines, get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hi, this is Gabriel with Florida Cash Home Buyers, and we pay cash for houses. If you want to sell your home fast and easy without a realtor, you can save thousands in commissions and closing costs. Call me at 561-570-7070. You can sell us your home in as little as 3 days or on your time frame. We can even pay you a cash advance before the closing, and we guarantee to make you a fair and honest offer. Our home buying process is simple, and we can make you a cash offer over the phone or in person, whatever works for you. Do you have a home that needs a lot of work? Did you inherit a house you don't want? No problem. We can buy your home no matter the condition or situation. You don't need to clean or fix anything, and there's no commissions or closing costs. If you want to sell your home fast and easy, we'll buy it. Call us today for a free offer. 561-570-7070. That's 561-570-7070. 561-570-7070. Do you suffer from neuropathy? Maybe you do and you don't even know it. Do you have numbness, pain, burning, or tingling in your hands and feet? Muscle weakness? Loss of balance? Muscle twitching? Are you not sleeping? Does it feel like pins and needles in your hands and feet? Maybe you have no feeling at all. The symptoms can make life unbearable, but there is help at the Lighthouse Medical Center. Call 754-222-6642 for a no-charge consultation and say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. 754-222-6642.
And anywhere in the world.
All right, I'm Brian Steve Kane here. I'm going to go through this story. Steve, you'll pick up on this real quick, so don't... You okay? Yeah? Do you mean to do that off the air? You're clearing your throat? It's on the air. What? Your voice prep was on the air. That's okay. I'm going to read a story in a minute. You're going to pick up on what the answer is, Steve. So don't you do it, because you'll know as soon as I start what it is. But I'm going to... This is back in the days of school, you know. You'd have to read a passage, and they'd ask you different questions about it. I'm going to read a news story to you, and when I read the news story to you, let me know what is missing from the story, okay? Let me know what is missing from the story. But before we do that, I want to talk about Debbie at I Will Advisors, okay? Medicare open enrollment is about a month away. And Debbie from I Will Advisors, Debbie and her family have been here on the Steve Kane Show for about 30 years. Bill Clinton was president when her family started advertising here on the Steve Kane Show, and it's a multi-generational company. The show has survived the life of some of our sponsors, and the businesses get passed down in the family from time to time, like Debbie from I Will Advisors. And no matter where you are in the state of Florida, Debbie can help you with your Medicare. Now, open enrollment is not until next month, and that's the only time of year that you can make changes in your Medicare insurance policy, okay? Which means you want to make sure that your doctors are covered, your prescriptions are covered, your pharmacy is covered, your specialists are covered, and you also want to make sure that if you have a supplement, you're not paying too much. Or maybe you don't even need to be paying for a supplement. Debbie at I Will Advisors can help you with all of this. Now, insurance agents get very busy when open enrollment starts because there's a rush. But you can actually call now and make an appointment to meet with Debbie from I Will Advisors when open enrollment begins next month. And we do this every year, and it makes it a lot less stressful and a lot easier, okay? She handles your Medicare each and every year, Steve. I'm going to give you Debbie's number. Now, if you call early and you get a machine in the office, leave your number and your name. They'll call you back, okay, when they open up. 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080. Okay, so I'm going to read through this news story. And, Steve, like I said, you're going to pick up on this instantly, so don't give it away. But I want to ask you in the audience, as I read this, what is missing from this story? Now, I was on my high school newspaper and at Stranahan High School in Fort Lauderdale. And this is what every news story had to have in it. The who, what, when, where, and why. Who, what, when, where, and why. Right? I don't know why I remember that, but I remember it. Okay, listen to this. This is a story that it's from the Idaho Statesman, and this story has been reprinted in every news organization in the country. Okay, listen to this. Here's the headline. Unsafe to be pregnant in Idaho. Woman who had complications sue Idaho over abortion ban. Earlier this year, this is the story, earlier this year, Jennifer Atkins learned during a 12-week ultrasound that her second child, nicknamed Spooky because he was due near Halloween, was unlikely to survive her pregnancy. Jennifer said doctors told her the likely miscarriage could result in mirror syndrome, a rare disorder that would cause her to experience the same life-threatening symptoms as the fetus. Jennifer recalled that her medical providers were visibly distraught when they told her that Idaho law prevented them from performing an abortion. Okay? Atkins is suing the state alongside a group of doctors and 3 Idaho women who are also denied abortions despite dangerous pregnancy complications. What's missing from that story? Right? What's missing from that story? And I don't want to troll for calls on it, but what's missing from the story is what happened. What happened, right? Did she have the baby? Did she have an abortion? What did she do? Well, luckily this story is reprinted all over the place, and some news outlets tell you and others do not. So I just had to Google her name and read some others. She had an abortion in neighboring Oregon, okay? Now, what's become of these, I know it's a sad story and it's not a happy story, but you have to search around to find out what happened. In all of these stories, I have not heard a single story where a woman was denied an abortion by someone and either A, she couldn't find somewhere else to get it, or it resulted in her death, or resulted in some serious complications for her, okay? Every story I have read about this, the woman got what she wanted, an abortion. Even that 10-year-old girl in Ohio, they took her to Indiana for the abortion, okay? So I don't understand. It seems that all of these women have the ability to get abortions if they really need to get it done. They always seem to find a way. It
turns out being convenience.
Well, and in this story, and many of the outlets that are leaving this out, they leave out the part that she traveled to neighboring Oregon for the abortion because they want you to think that she was forced to give birth. Like that's a bad thing, right, giving birth. But they want you to think that she was forced to give birth and that she may be dealing with health problems after. They don't want you to know that she was still able to get access. Here's the deal, okay? The Republican Party platform was always to repeal Roe v. Wade. Roe v. Wade leaves it up to the states. Some states have different rules than others, okay? But I've yet to see any story where a woman could not get the abortion if she was so into getting it done. They always result in the abortion, which is not a good thing. I'm not saying that's a good thing, but this idea that they're being denied rights is just a lie. Now, first of all, that case of that 10-year-old girl in Ohio that they took to Indiana, the doctors actually they could have done the abortion when they first found out the 10-year-old girl was pregnant, and they wanted to make a test case, so they put it off so that she would be beyond the 10 weeks. There's a lot of that going on too, because most of the states have a 10-week ban, and if you notice, it's always like the 12th week. They always wait. They always wait. And they wait because they're desperate to get a test case. What they're trying to do is find the next Rosa Parks, okay? When Rosa Parks got arrested, everyone knows she was an NAACP activist, which is fine, and they orchestrated that event. But there had been several other NAACP people who sat where they wanted to on the buses and got arrested and didn't get the media attention. They kept doing it over and over, and for whatever reason, Rosa Parks got the media attention. They couldn't get the media attention on it in the other cases. They're trying to find a Rosa Parks abortion case, and every single one of them have resulted in the woman getting an abortion. So, and the reason they leave that out of the story is because they want you to think that there's no access, when sadly there still is. I mean, I wish you couldn't get abortions. I wish none of these women had abortions, okay? But, and I'm a little curious as to why all of them are always in the 12th week. Have you noticed that? They're always in the 12th week. Pretty much every single one of them. Why? Right? They didn't just find out they were pregnant in the 12th week. But that's how they're desperate to make test cases. All right, listen, we're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. We'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. The greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s coming up this morning. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created, here's the oldies forecast.
It's Wednesday, everybody. Hope you're off to a great start. We're still tracking Lee, which is going to pass by Bermuda, so we'll see a little higher surf and some rip currents today. Other than that, a high of 90 and a chance of afternoon storms. I'm WPBF 25 First Warning meteorologist Sandra Shaw.
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now, a true oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Major expressways in the Palm Beach is still crash free, but we are seeing some pretty heavy slowdowns on 95 north and southbound approaching Lantana Road. Also further northbound passing Southern Boulevard and Okeechobee. Usual delays 95 heading northbound from Deerfield Beach into Boca. Further south into Broward County, very heavy traffic on the turnpike between Pompano and 595. Also on 95 between the same stretch. So you may want to take the surface streets this morning. Turnpike southbound before Sunrise Boulevard. All lanes are now blocked by that earlier traffic concerning fire. Only the right shoulder is open at this time. Very heavy delays back to Atlantic Boulevard. Your best alternates right now are 441 University Boulevard or Power Line. This report is sponsored by Macy's Backstage. What will you find at Macy's Backstage? Here's a hint. Fall finds for $25 and under, like sharp blazers, cozy sweaters, cargo pants, jackets, and more. Find the latest trends and new arrivals at Macy's Backstage store near you. That's Traffic on Chris Barr.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. PBKC's dinner and comedy show season is coming up with amazing events live in the paddock. Enjoy an amazing dinner with Notre Dame football Hall of Fame coach Lou Holtz on Wednesday, October 4th. Or see the Rat Pack now on Friday, October the 20th. Let It Be Ultimate Tribute to the Beatles on November 17th. Plus, December features Andrew Dice Clay, Jackie Martling, Memories of Elvis, and much more. For more information or buy tickets, go to pbkennelclub.com.
Tom Laporta here from Laporta Contracting, Roofing and Building Restoration. We have been in the roofing and construction industry for 40 years. We are originally from Connecticut, where our values and work ethic is second to none. We install all kinds of roofs, from asphalt shingle, clay and concrete tile, standing metal seam, slate tile, and flat roof systems. We work with homeowners, HOAs, commercial properties, and churches. We are state of Florida licensed roofing and general contractors. At Laporta Contracting, family is what we are, and roofing and restoration is what we do. We help guide our customers to a successful outcome by constantly informing them every step of the way. At Laporta Contracting, let our family take care of your family. Call me on my cell at 954-604-4602 or visit us on our website at laportacontracting.com. That number again is 954-604-4602.
Brian Craig here. I've suffered with massive pain in my knee for years, but not anymore. It's all gone, thanks to Dr. Appleton and his laser away pain system. I'm in studio right now with Dr. Appleton. Dr. Appleton, how'd you do it?
Well, I treated your knee pain with laser. Treatment is simple and no side effects. I have robotic surgery that have
You know, do you guys believe the story of Lauren Boebert? I'm reading a couple different versions of the story. Do you think she was sitting in the theater vaping?
any joint I can do, shoulder pain, hip pain, sciatica, stenosis, arthritis, tendonitis, bursitis,
What do you think? I don't see. What do you guys think? I don't know.
He's open 6 days a week, and same-day appointments are available. Call right now for your free consultation. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. Make sure to tell Dr. Appleton you heard about him on the radio.
Are you exhausted after work with no energy left in the tank to give your family? Are you having a midday crash on a daily basis? Women, are menopause symptoms like hot flashes, anxiety, and depression making your daily life feel far more difficult than it should? Men, do you feel like you are aging far beyond what you should? Is your sexual life and relationship suffering because of disappointments in the bedroom? Then take action and let our medical team at Lighthouse Medical
I don't either. That's insane. That's insane to be vaping.
Hey, are you already dreaming about your next vacation getaway? Well, Margaritaville at Sea Summer Blowout Sale is back.
Oh, this is interesting. I'm going to share this with Steve when we get back.
Cruise in the Bahamas starting at only $99 for 2 guests. An incredible deal you won't see again this season. Enjoy delicious island-inspired cuisine, amazing live entertainment, spectacular ocean breezes, and so much more. Don't miss your last chance to break away to the Bahamas with cruises for 2 starting at $99. Book today at margaritavillec.com.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
All right, welcome back. I'm Brian. Steve Kane is here. You know, I ran a poll. It's ongoing. I was going to go through the results of this tomorrow, but I was looking at the. You know, Steve, on my YouTube channel, I run polls sometimes on different things with the audience, and I get thousands of responses in the polls. And I put up a poll this morning, and it's an unusual poll. I didn't want to do the show on this. This is sometimes we'll ask these kind of questions on the air and take calls, but I didn't want to do this on the phones because some of the callers would have other motives in this. So I wanted to do an offline poll, and I'll read the final results either tomorrow or Friday. But a lot of people that listen to this show have not been listening since 1977, believe it or not. Some, new people join the show all the time. And when people join this show and you're new to the show, and by new, 5 years, 5 days, 5 hours, however long, but it can be this is a different kind of show than other shows like this. Most of the shows like this that are on the radio at radio stations around the country, when I say like this, well, yeah, when I say like this, I mean conservative shows that discuss news and politics, okay? Those shows are really, all the calls are heavily screened to make the host look good. Most of these people on the radio are afraid somebody will call in and they won't know something. And I don't care if I don't know something. If Steve doesn't know something, I'll say I don't know, and we'll take a call. Somebody will give us that information, or a caller might catch you. Callers try to do this with us all the time. And we get a lot of, and one thing that we also do that these other shows don't do is we take calls from people who disagree with us, which are usually deranged liberals. And we've always done this, and, Yeah, they very well can be, and you know, they come and go. We have a long list of liberal callers over the years that have come and gone, and you know, they get beaten up on because they not that we beat up on them. They feel stupid because they're, you know, trying to support these liberal ideas. But people that are new to the show sometimes will tell me that we shouldn't talk to liberals. We should just talk to conservatives. So I did a poll. And this poll is ongoing, but I'll tell you what the results are now. And me talking about it now, it may get, you know, I did a poll today. Should we take liberal callers on the air on the show? And right now, it is 70-30 yes, which I was really surprised to hear. 70-30 yes, and over 1,000 so far have responded. And I just put this poll up during the show earlier, okay? So by the end of... Yeah, and a 70-30 say yes, take liberal calls. And the reason I didn't do this poll on the air and take calls is there's a lot of important news to discuss, and a lot of times people do, they have no talent, so they do polls on the air to fill up the line so they can get through the show. You know what I mean? But it's also self-serving because a lot of the callers will call in. They want more airtime for themselves to shine. They don't want anybody else on, you know. And I am pleasantly surprised that with over 1,000 votes, and it's still growing as I'm speaking, it's 70-30 in favor of us taking liberal callers. And
Did you say you're surprised?
I am surprised by that. And I'll...
Earlier in our conversation, when I pointed out to you that there are no other shows like that, that's the difference between this show and other shows. Not only do we take calls that disagree, but they are the highlights of the show, because I think the strongest thing about this show, of the many strong points that it has in its favor, is the comedy.
Yeah.
Comedy comes from our dialogue, mostly with people who disagree and who are liberal.
Well, and also, when we talk to liberals, if you listen carefully, I disagree with Steve on the, you know, Steve, a little bit about the comedy aspect. There's a comedy aspect and a humor because they're clowns, but we make our points through asking questions of these liberals, and you know, and if you listen to any of these
basic principle of talk that I learned
Yeah.
from Pine.
Yeah.
And you know who else was big? You remember Jerry Spence, the attorney?
Yes.
He was, that was his, as an attorney, he was one of the great attorneys in the history of America. And that was his whole thing. He would make his points on cross-examination, simply by asking a series of questions and leading the witness down the garden path. And Pine taught me that the first year I worked for him. That was a big thing I learned from Joe Pine.
Yeah, Jerry Spence, he used to wear like country western jackets and stuff all the time. He had a lot of personality. But, you know, and most people that are on the air, like I said, they're afraid that a caller will best them or they won't know. Like, for example, we were talking about the 3 senators that went to Nixon. I couldn't remember the name. Steve, somebody just emailed me. Barry Goldwater, John Rhodes, both of them were from Arizona. And then someone says the Senate Minority Leader Hugh Scott of Pennsylvania. I don't know. Maybe so. It doesn't matter. But the reason I'm surprised by the way, this poll was not going to be a decider as to whether or not we stop talking to liberals, because that's the show, the Steve Kane Show format is talking to anyone who calls us screenless, okay? Our calls are screenless. When you call in, we put you on hold. We have someone here, Mike, our board up, he could screen the calls. Now, this happened by accident. The reason we started doing screenless calls is when I was first on the air, I was on the air overnight, and they wouldn't pay me to do the show, but they would pay me if I ran the board. They would give me the board op pay. So I ran my own board at night so I could get paid to do the show, the board op pay, which was $5 an hour, Mike. Okay, I know it was a long time ago. Mike wasn't alive, but it was fine. Mike wasn't alive then. And I had to take the call screenless. So I learned to do that, and then when I started doing this with Steve, we kept it going. And it works out. So we get calls. A lot of these callers most of them would probably not make it on the air if there was a phone screen. But the reason I'm surprised that it's 70-30, over 1,000 votes already, just during the show, Steve, over 1,000 votes in this poll, 70-30 in favor of taking liberal callers, is because I thought people are so fed up by the liberal media bias that that a lot of people, because I hear this from listeners sometimes, they don't want to hear the liberal viewpoint. Yep.
Nothing to do with what we're talking
Yeah.
about. Wanted to ask you off the air, and I keep forgetting.
No.
The only way I'm going to remember to do it is if I do it while I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
VHS collection of tapes that I
Correct.
off the
Yeah.
off the cable back in the days when.
Yes.
And I have a film that they showed called The Trial of Lee Harvey Oswald.
Oh yeah, with Jerry Spence. Yeah.
I have it on VHS.
Oh my goodness.
Place you can send me.
Yeah, of course, but I wouldn't be so sure that it's still on that tape after 40 years.
I want to give it a shot at least.
Okay, all right. Listen, if you're on hold, stand by, and I just want to say I am pleasantly surprised. I'm very happy that the poll is 70-30 and to continue to talk to liberal callers, because I kind of did that poll without talking about it because I wanted to gauge the audience as to what they thought about it. It wasn't going to change what we did, but I wanted to hear, and most people agree with us. All right, we'll be right back.
Cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane.
All right, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how the metals looking?
Metal's looking good. Gold's just down $2.80 right now, $1,910. Yesterday, it did drop $9 after trading in a range of $1,906 to $1,925, closing out the day at $1,912.80 the ounce. Silver closed unchanged yesterday at $23.05, while platinum was up $12 at $911, and palladium gained $25 at $1,217. As I said, gold right now at $1,910, down $2.80. Silver down 20 cents at $22.85 the ounce. Platinum down $11 at $900, and palladium up $5 at $1,222. So the market's holding basically around the same range.
Absolutely. Now, when we talk about the metals, we talk in the prices by ounces. And obviously you sell gold, silver, all the metals in ounces and forms smaller than that. But you were talking a week or so ago, you can do transactions in the metals, William Youngerman, that are in the 6 and even 7 figures?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, when people come in for, that's out of my budget, but when people come in for these large purchases, I'm assuming, and that number, is it usually gold? Is it silver too? How does that?
Silver and sometimes platinum, yeah.
Wow. When it comes to gold, when someone comes to you and they make these 6-figure and higher deals and purchases, what do they buy it in ounce form, like in coins? Do they buy larger bars? What's the best way to do such a transaction?
As we customize everything to everybody's needs, so there's no set pattern of it. That usually a good mix when you're getting into the large holdings of precious metals for people's accounts. They'll mix it up a little bit. Maybe they'll go for enough coins to settle their everyday kind of needs and things where they may be wanting to sell a little bit of gold at a time, and then buy the larger bars to save some of the premium in the part that they're going to just hoard and never sell, basically.
Yeah. So that's now when it can people come to you and sell that have big amounts too, like we're talking about? Well, listen, guys. William Youngerman, he's in Boca. I'm going to give you his number. He opens up at 10 a.m. I have to ask about those things because those are things that I'll never personally experience. I can only dream of. But I know but it's not unusual for people. I've talked to listeners of ours that do these larger transactions, and they just rave and rave about how easy and how happy they were with the entire process. By the way, going both ways on those types of transactions. William Youngerman's number is toll-free, 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010. Online, williamyoungerman.com, or stop right in at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk tomorrow.
Okay, have a great day.
Back after this.
On the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian Craig. Steve Kane is here. You're on the air. What's your name, caller?
This is JJ from Aspen. Hey, Steve. I want to make a couple comments about, well, first, people don't like being lied to. And number two, the Bidens are a horrible crime family. And by horrible, I mean they're not good at it. Okay? I think they're somewhat of a corrupt political family, but they are not the best criminals. The dumb criminals, I mean, jails and prisons are full of stupid.
I don't want you to lose your thought, but he's been doing crime like this since Nixon was in the White House. There have been no repercussions. So to say that they're not good at it is, I don't think it's accurate. I just think they're fearless and do their deals out in the open.
Well, here's what I mean by that, Brian. They're caught. Okay, and once you get, you're smart until you get caught. Now, the Sal Alinsky never give up the big lie scenario, which is what the Democrat Communist Party follows. They're going to be eating crow because these DBAs, okay, these shell companies, when they started getting into that, I can't remember if it was a month or when that information came out. You don't have 20 shell companies. I mean, they could have done the crime like the Clintons did it, with a foundation, with a charity, or say Barack when he got the deal from Netflix. Or there's a lot of different ways they could have set this up, but they've been caught, and that's why the deep state is cutting them loose. That's why the Democrats. What I do want to see is this trial that's going to take. It's going to take place. This is going to get to the Senate. And I hope it takes a long time, because the longer it takes, the better the opportunity for the Democrat voters.
That's right.
Truly understand.
And as much as I do not like nor trust McCarthy, I'm going to give Kevin McCarthy the benefit of the doubt on this one, okay? And let me tell you what I mean. The crimes and these past, the Trump impeachments were a joke. Clinton's impeachment in '98, supporting perjury. While it is it is serious, it's really a minor thing to put a whole country through. This guy is involved in possible taking military action in exchange for money, okay, and other things. So Kevin McCarthy might be doing the right thing by walking it a little slow to get all their ducks in a row to present such a high-level criminal operation to the world. Even, it's a possibility.
Absolutely, Brian. That is, to me, it's all, I mean, the timing is, however it happened, it's happened now. I want it to be completely thorough, slow and thorough, because it gives the opportunity for people, because the media is going to cover it and maybe try to hide some things, but eventually I think the Audubon Society is going to be a little upset, because they're all going to be eating crow. There's going to be crow everywhere, because the truth is going to, when you do a crime and you leave a trail, and they've got all they've got all the wires. You can follow the money. What this took for a politician like this, for them to get, the evidence is always.
See, this is the thing. In Washington, they don't mind a little corruption, but he got too greedy. And
he got caught. He got caught in a major way that's provable, just like with the guy from Newsmax.
Greg Kelly.
With the recording, Greg Kelly. That information is going to be slow. I just hope it's a slow boil, but the more Democrats that really don't know what's going on, they get a chance to, like Jay was calling it, what evidence? What evidence? Those sorry reports from the banks and the wires, those don't lie. And they've got 20 DBAs, and they're paying money to the grandkids and all this crazy stuff. It's going to come out. And he's got one way. He may try to stay in. I think if it gets to the Senate, the best thing about it.
See, part of the problem that he has is his entire family are bums. He's got not just Hunter and his daughter and his wife, his brother and sister and their entire families are too, and they've all got vices, and they all spend like it's never stopping. So they and
Patents making millions of dollars.
well, most of these people in Washington that do deals with the donors, they do it. They don't spend as much as these people do, and when you got a family of addicts, the money doesn't go far.
Yeah, no, they're gonna. I want to see the vote. What it's going to come down to is: are the Democrat senators, are they going to vote no in the face of absolute evidence? Are they going to? Because this could be the first president ever removed.
Yeah, I think it's possible. The other ones were not possible. This one, I think it is very possible. Yeah.
Senators, they're going to have explaining to do.
What you've got to realize, the biggest obstacle here is going to be the other things going on in the news. For example, they've got a budget coming up in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
What the Democrats are going to start to do is emphasize the work that's not getting done.
Oh, please.
The time with all this stuff, and once they, the number they pull with the budget every year.
Yeah.
It's all the Republicans' fault because they're wasting time with this nonsense. So and then the other big obstacles is an issue we're very concerned with, which is the Trump.
Mm-hmm.
To get that investigation, I mean, there's going to be a lot of focus on that as well.
JJ, we got a bad connection. I got to let you go, but thanks for the call. Yeah, you're right, Steve. Yeah, I know. Yeah, this is. Do you agree with the caller and me that this is the first time that a president, there's a good chance they'll be removed in the Senate trial?
I don't think so.
Really, you think it's just a showboating?
Yeah, there are too many distractions. I mentioned two of the major issues just a moment ago, but there are too many major issues that the Democrats can divert with. And
so you think it's showboating by the Republicans? You don't think it's a meaning?
I think they're in a position where they've committed to do this stuff, and now their constituency or our constituency expects something to be accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
They're between the rock and the hard place.
Yeah, yeah. All right, let's take some more calls. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, Sarah from Fort Myers. Yeah, why was Hillary at the White House yesterday?
I don't know. Maybe she needed to replenish some of those plates she stole when she left, when she moved out.
Yeah, so maybe they try to put her in or somehow. I don't know. But what the heck is she doing there? The gateway pundit said, "Look at her with her drapes. She looks like curtains or whatever she's wearing." Yeah, I don't know. I hope they're not. They should have never put McCarthy in. He was a bad. As you say, he's a traitor. I don't know what the hell. I wish Matt Gaetz was the speaker.
Well, I would like Martin. It may.
I hope so. And then I have to laugh your caller, Jay. I watched on CNN, so they don't have anything. Now, you have where they have everything, and then you got that jerk Tapper saying they don't have anything. I'm like, what is, they're playing games.
I realize, when I listen to some of what these Democrats are saying, they're used to talking to people who don't read a newspaper.
Yeah.
There's no evidence. I'm saying, my God, how stupid must their audience be?
Well, I got to tell you, you take that poll, I will admit that I can't stand the liberal calls. It's nauseating. I know you want to take them. You think I'm going to red pill them. I think Jay's lost cause and Renee's lost.
No, we're not trying to convert them.
No sense of humor?
Yeah, it's okay, but he's annoying. First of all, he's rude. He says he calls you stupid all the time. He just said,
Hold on. I'm not talking about those two particular people, okay? I'm talking about in general. If you go back and you listen to all of our liberal callers, whoever they are, we always make our very conservative MAGA points through the conversations with them. And they always look like jerks. Because we're right.
How about the old man that's been following for years? He's still a jerk. What's his name? Roy, not Roy. What's his name? That guy says, "I'm on the beach."
Oh, Harvey from Daytona. Yeah.
he's still the same he was 30 years ago.
Yeah, yeah. All right, hey, listen, appreciate the call. Thanks so much. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Tom from Florida. I only got 2 minutes. Damn, I was on hold for a second. I'm sorry. How you doing, guys?
No, you don't have 2 minutes. You've got about 30 seconds.
Oh, geez, 30 seconds.
Well, we'll be here tomorrow. Don't worry about it.
All right, not a problem. I'll try calling back tomorrow.
Wait, you have nothing to say?
Not going to take 30 seconds.
Sure. What would you call about?
Call for tomorrow.
Well, I mean, what do you do? I mean, like all these impeachment things, like everybody says everything. Like Donald Trump had the emails for Hillary. Guess what? When Donald Trump became president, Hillary didn't get locked up. Hillary didn't go to jail. It's all a tactic. It's all mudslinging. That's all they do. That's what politics will forever be. Throwing mud at the other side, and then when the other side gets the chance in the better ground, they're going to throw some mud back.
Oh, really? You needed 2 minutes to say that? Oh, my goodness. All right, well, thankfully we're out of time and have to discontinue that call. Oh, my goodness. It's the Steve Kane Show. Steve is here. I'm Brian Craig. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow. If you're on hold, stand by. If you stay on hold, you'll be first in line tomorrow when we go live at 6. God bless America, and God bless Donald Trump.
Beach, WIRK HD3
All right, guys.
Indian Town.
I got to get out of the way here. I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.